Your call has been forwarded to an automatic voice message system. At the tone, please record your message. When you have finished recording, you may hang up or press 1 for more options.
You are receiving a select call from Tarrant County Correction. Do you accept the charges?
Hey, y'all, this is Gene O'Malley. Y'all need to stop talking about me on your podcast. I get out of jail on Tuesday, and if you don't stop, I will be there on Tuesday. Now, I know this is all because my brother is so jealous of me. You know, he's doing everything I do. Maybe he got a hot Asian wife first, but I got a Thai wife. Not as good as a Japanese wife, but I still got one. So he got nothing to be jealous of me about. Now, y'all listen up. My lawyer in the trailer park 3 trailers over, he said, you guys got to stop doing this. If you don't, I'm going to come over there and beat the out of all of you. Now, still, Kevin's wife is not as good as my Asian Thai girlfriend, but I don't care. Now, this is the last time I'm going to tell y'all, you got to stop talking about me on your podcast. Now, breakfast is for anyway. All the foods are shaped like sausages and penises. Now, this is the last time I'm going to tell y'all, stop talking about me or I will be over there to whoop y'all on tape, on camera, whatever the hell you people do there. Trump 2024.
Listen up, you big breakfast macho maniacs. I'm back. I got 128 all beef bun length franks staring at me from the side of the ring because it's the morning of 4th of July. But I'm all out of cinnamon toast crunch. So I gotta know, are you macho maniacs enough to join the Muncho Man in having a hot dog for breakfast? I look forward to hearing yours.
Yes, this is Kevin O'Malley, third co-host, calling about today's episode on July 11th. You guys mentioned that Jean-Claude Van Damme played the Predator in the classic movie Predators. And he was lined up to do that before they redesigned it. When he was, there are pictures of him in the costume when it looked more like a giant insect. But then they redesigned it to what we currently know as the Predator. And that was played by Kevin Michael Hall. So I just wanted to point that out and encourage you guys to get your facts straight next time. I love you.
You're in big trouble, though, pal. I eat pieces of shit like you for breakfast.
You eat pieces of shit for breakfast?
No.
Two, one, rolling. Welcome and good morning. This is Breakfast of Champions, Season 1, Episode 9. Get into it. I'm one of your co-hosts, Renee Floyd, and we have the other co-host over there. His name is...
Parker Howard.
Boom. This is the first time we're coming to you on video, so if we act really strange and we don't know what to do with our hands, it's because this is the first time. But since you're seeing us, we have to introduce our guest right off rip. This is Seth Gilmore.
Howdy.
I'm so excited to have Seth here. For those of you that don't know Seth, he is the lead singer for Fugitive and also the new lead singer for
Power Trip and also Scourge. And I actually didn't know Seth's last name until like a few years ago because I always knew him as Seth Grip.
Yep. That's a throwback.
We're so happy to have Seth here. He's blessed us with his presence, and we just want to get into some breakfast and some violence with him. He's an interesting guy. He's one of Parker's friends, so thank you right off rip for coming and blessing us with your presence.
Thanks for having me.
Let's talk. What do we want to talk about first? Let's see here. You want to plug some socials and do that first right off top?
Yeah.
Okay. So if you're not following us on Instagram or if you're old, Facebook or TikTok or anything like that, we're at Breakfast of Champs Pod on all socials. If you want to give us a call, I've been hearing a lot of cool voicemails. We're going to include those on this episode. We've got Macho Man. He made a return. We've also got a call from Tarrant County Corrections Facility. So we're excited about that. You'll hear that on this. We'll throw that at the beginning of this podcast. So if you're listening to this, you just heard our voicemails from Macho Man and also TCC. So thank you guys for giving us a call. The phone number again, 682-294-0101. If you want to talk to us and tell us why we're wrong, tell us where we should go eat breakfast. Just quickly a recap, Mr. James Gray sent me a message and he did make it out to the cinnamon roll place in Lake Worth that we were talking about, Sweet Georgia Browns. I think something like that. Ginger Browns. He messaged me this week and sent me a picture of him with the cinnamon roll. Man. So little follow-up for those of you that enjoyed that episode. His episode is our most listened to and downloaded episode. So we talk about cinnamon rolls in there. He made it out to Lake Worth to try my suggestion and said it was probably one of the best cinnamon rolls he's ever had. So give us a call if you can give us a better recommendation for cinnamon rolls, donuts. We got breakfast tacos this morning. We're doing it right. So thanks guys for coming in and enjoying some breakfast tacos with me. Let's see here. You want to introduce what we got?
Yeah, so we got salsa limon. I'm just going to put it up on the table here.
Throw it up there.
We got salsa limon. We got chorizo, egg, and cheese. Is there cheese on there?
I think it's just eggs.
Yeah, chorizo and egg taco. We got a bacon egg taco, and then looks like a potato egg taco.
So we're coming to you live from Center here in Fort Worth. It's where I work. So they are kind of pseudo first sponsor. They said we could use their space. It's kind of a cool space, cool looking space with, a nice light and wallpaper. So thank you, Center. Thank you, Reed. Thank you, Jason, for letting us film here. We are located on Magnolia in the south side of Fort Worth. And we figured what better way to kick off our video episode with like championing the neighborhood. So right next door is Salsa Limon. We got our tacos from there. Milo owns that place. They've got a few locations around. He's a really cool dude. They've got some really great food. And then Parker really bringing it back for me. We have Avoca for our beverage today. I worked at Avoca for 4.5 years, and a lot of our friends have worked there. I mean, our entire band worked there at one point.
I was the only one,
I
worked across the street from Avoca for 13 or 14 years. Yeah,
so if you are a fan of our previous work, Unspell, our emotional hardcore band, Jordan, the lead singer, Brian, the drummer, me, the guitar player, and Eder, actually, our second guitar player, we all worked at Avoca at one point, and Parker was just right across the street at Spiral Diner. So if you are from Fort Worth, you know the hood, you know the street, you know how important this hood is. We just wanted to kind of grab some of that stuff, showcase the hood, come down and see us here at Center. I've got shoes, clothes, at good times. I got PlayStation up here if you want to come kick my butt in UFC 4 or anything like that. So I'll stop talking. Let's get into some breakfast tacos. I'm going to eat first so that way you guys can talk a little bit if that's cool.
Yeah, absolutely. Which one are you going for?
I'm going to go potato.
Potato?
I'll go potato.
I'll let you pass that over.
Yeah. Swag.
Seth, have you had salsa limon breakfast before?
I've had a lot of salsa limon breakfast.
Me too. I fucking love salsa limon.
Amazing. The potato one, like the mashed potatoes they put on it, is amazing.
I don't know if I've ever had a potato breakfast taco from there.
Let's Lady in the Tramp this bad boy.
Oh shit! Because the mashed potatoes on there, it looks interesting. I was expecting like cube potatoes for a potato taco, but that's interesting. My son always goes for the chorizo and egg one. Yeah. So I've had that one a couple times. I usually get it for dinner, so I'm usually doing like a burrito or a torta.
Yeah, tortas are amazing there.
Yeah, and they're fucking huge.
They are huge. Also, what are the bowls called? They call them their
is it like the mocha
bowl?
Yeah, those are good.
They're good. Also, they have a great lunch, like the El Capitan tacos are really good. The barbacoa is really good.
Man, I remember when they were over in a truck off of University in Barrie, like right across from TCU. I'd get off work at like midnight, and they'd be outside this. What bar was that? Was it the Cellar? Mm-hmm. And I'd be out there, like I'd get there at like 12:30, and they'd be there until 2, and we'd just like go get drinks and get tacos and hang out, and that was the fucking best.
Yeah, that's bomb right there.
Yeah, that was smart marketing on them, and then just to see how far they've grown has been awesome.
Yeah, it's awesome. They have how many locations now? They have the one off of University, White Settlement, this one.
And then I know
they got one in the museum district too, the Bar Museo.
Yeah, and I know they had a couple in Dallas. I'm not sure if they're still there. And then there's one in LeGrand Plaza. I think that's the original location.
And there's one in Austin now, too.
Oh, shit. I didn't realize. Actually, no, I did know that. I had forgotten about it. Yeah. Damn. Look at them blowing up. Good for them.
Yeah.
Keep going.
Salsa's been kind of in our lives for quite some time. And if you played the Aardvark or the Cellar or any of those bars that were over there in the TCU area, that's where the truck was set up. If you have DJ'd late night in and around Fort Worth, Bar Museo, Jake Palachek booked that for a while. And so Bar Museo, Salsa Limon, always near and dear to my heart. I've got a cool playlist for that particular spot. Oh, no.
Not my phone, not my notes. We'll get it in a minute.
Yeah. So, Salsa Limon, in my mind, I always think late night because they're one of the few places that are just like straight up late night all the time. So if you've ever been out and about and you wanted a taco late night, Salsa Limon's the place to hit up. Usually pretty good food, always pretty good.
I've rarely ever had a bad experience there.
Yeah.
Do they still do the karaoke? Or is that?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, heavy.
Is that a Jake thing or was that a Milo thing?
No, that's a Milo thing because they're still doing it over here on Thursdays. When I leave for work, they're just pumping. And so, they're really passionate about karaoke over there. Every Thursday without fail, you can find a spot to do some karaoke. So, you want to try some? Or are you good right now? Yeah, we have to get your opinion.
We're gonna rate the tacos.
I saw your lime scale.
Limon
scale.
1 through 6 limons.
Go with the bacon and egg.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Classic breakfast.
And I'm gonna put the jalapeno salsa.
Yes.
Oh man, I totally forgot about the salsa. That is the best one.
Oh dude, it's so good.
I tried to recreate it at home and it was good. It wasn't quite right, but it was good.
Let's talk salsa recipes. Do you roast your veggies
Fuck
first?
Yes.
Yeah.
I throw them out on the smoker, like wood smoke them, get them all like blackened, and then do it. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you remember Nathan Brown before he moved to Connecticut?
I don't think so.
He was like a noise musician, kind of like a electronic guy. He ran Dead Media Tapes, which is like an 8-track.
That sounds familiar.
Like I think Ozzy asked them to reprint something on 8-track, and he like got that or something like that.
All of that sounds familiar, but I don't think I actually knew him.
He's a cool guy. Definitely played some shows with him, but he has an interesting character in his life. His dad goes by the name of Dr. Bone because he is like a professor of like trombone. And just like I live for the updates on Dr. Bone because he just seems like the character of all characters when it comes to dads. But he named his salsa, it's Salza, after Dr. Bone, and he sold it on the street for a long time. But that is some of the best salsa I've ever had. And
Dr. Bone salsa.
Yeah, salsa. He roasted all his veggies on just a regular Weber with like wood chips and like just. It was stupid good how good that salsa was.
Awesome.
Salsa is really easy to make, but it's one of those things where it's like, it's so easy to just get a good one from the store that it's like almost not worth it. But I enjoy the cooking aspect of it. Roasting the vegetables. It's like, it just makes it that much better in my opinion.
You can like really tweak it and make it your own. Like, oh, hey, it tastes similar, but I gave it the Dr. Bone treatment.
Excuse me. Right. What's your favorite all-time breakfast taco that you've probably had? Do you know?
I'm trying to think.
Be lame and say, "Oh, Austin, how's good breakfast taco?"
You know, I don't think I've ever had a breakfast taco in Austin. I also try and stay away from Austin.
That's a good.
Yeah. Man, probably just like something I got off of like a taco truck.
Yeah.
Like, don't know the name of it. Just like appeared in the mist and disappeared. I never got to have it again.
My dad speaks of this mythical breakfast burrito in like Midland or Odessa. I forget which one it is, but there's like this gas station that has like this green chili pork breakfast burrito.
Is it Laredo Taco Company?
I don't think it is. I think it's like a mom and pop. I don't think it's a gas station.
Tons of stuff about Laredo Taco Company.
Sure.
Have you had that on
Never.
in your travels?
Is it the one that's like in the gas station?
Yeah, it's always in a gas station. I know they opened one in Tyler, and everyone talks shit on that. They're like, no, it has to be from like Southwest Texas. If it's not from Southwest Texas, like if it's not southwest of San Antonio, it's not real.
Well, I'm sure they eat it just as well.
But I know they've got like a green chili pork taco that's like supposed to be amazing.
Maybe that's it. I'll just have to call my dad and figure that out. But
We should get your dad on the show. We talk about him a lot.
yeah, my dad's a cool guy. He's a character. He's the missions director for the Baptist General Convention of Texas. So if you want to get into,
He knows violence.
my dad used to say, whenever like that sort of silliness came up, he would be like, "It's time for some wall-to-wall counseling, some prayer and suffering."
Oh no.
Yeah. So on a scale of 1 to 6 limons, do you want to rate this, Seth?
1 to
Give it
6?
Yeah, 1 to 6.
I'll give it a 6. I
Six.
think it's a great taco.
Perfect taco.
I think the jalapeno salsa they have with it is amazing.
Yeah, I would go 5.5 for me. I would say it's right up there with some of the best tacos I've ever had. All of the fillings are always full. They don't skip on their proteins or their fillings. Everything's made pretty much to order there. Their salsas are fresh. They're very tasty. You cannot go wrong with the salsa limon burrito.
Yeah, I'm gonna go 5.5 as well.
Yeah.
Just because perfection is always just barely out of reach.
That's right.
But no, like the tortillas are fluffy and nice, and the salsa, like everything, the portioning, love it. Yeah.
Yeah. So, just quickly, if you are joining us from anywhere around the world, we wanted to say a quick thank you. I was just taking a look at our numbers. We have people that are listening in China, Japan, India. So just thank you for everybody that doesn't live in Fort Worth and doesn't know about Salsa Limon. If you ever come to visit Fort Worth, please check out Salsa Limon. There's many locations. If you're in Austin, check them out. We also have Avoca Coffee here, and I just want to touch base on them real quick. They have a few locations, or had a few locations. I think one's still in Dallas. I think the Dent one closed. Maybe.
Oh, I haven't heard about that. I know that the Stockyard one is still going, and the Foch is still going.
Yeah, so if you're in Fort Worth and you're looking for a good cup of coffee, Avoca is always going to be a good bet. My personal favorite, if you've never tried it, something outside of the box, is the Charlie Sheen. It is iced coffee and Mexican Coke mixed together. You get the little extra Mexican Coke so you can keep on mixing it in and making it a little bit sweeter as it goes. But that's one of my favorite things to get completely jacked out of my mind.
I would do a Yama shot and then get the Mexican Coke on the side.
Yeah. Have you ever had Yama before? So?
I haven't had Yama.
So Yama is a slow process drip coffee that comes from Japan. It's usually 3 towers. The first tower is going to be ice that drips down 5 drops per minute, 6 drops per minute. You kind of have to time it into the second basin, which is filled with ground coffee. And then it slowly drips through all of that. And then you collect it in the third basin. It's like a wooden and glass tower.
Okay.
And so it takes about 24 hours to get a full brew of Yama. And so it's slow. You have to kind of time it. And so you can ruin it very easily. If you too much water, not enough time, that sort of thing. And so they do a really good Yama shot there. And then during the holidays, they have one that's called Event Horizon.
Oh, I forgot about Event Horizon.
Event Horizon comes around during the holidays, and what they do is they layer the shot with some heavy cream, and then they dust some nutmeg on top of it. And so you're supposed to just have it in one quick shot, and it's like Christmas, Thanksgiving tasting in your mouth really in one shot. And of course, it's heavily caffeinated, so you're like,
during like Thanksgiving and Christmas, when I worked at Spiral, it was like crazy. We would do like hundreds of orders for Thanksgiving and Christmas, and I would live off of Yama shots and Event Horizons because I'd be working like 18 to 20 hours a day some days. Yeah. And so, I was just like pounding those. I would also do a Yama shot, and we had these CBD like colas, and I'd mix those. So I'd like get all the caffeine, but I'd get like the CBD to like mellow it out, and it was the perfect balance. And I would drink like 2 or 3 of those a day.
How much caffeine is in a Yama shot?
I would say it's probably the equivalent of like a shot and a half to 2 shots of espresso.
Okay.
Yeah, it's pretty concentrated.
Awesome.
Oh yeah. Also, I'm sorry. They also put like sugar in it as well while it's brewing. So it's like a mixture of cold brew and sugar. And so it's a sweeter shot. It's very strong, but it's sweeter as well.
Sounds awesome.
It's Swedish. So yeah, if you
The Swedish.
The Swedish. So yeah, if you're looking for good coffee, Avoca's the place. Try Charlie Sheen, try Yama, try an Event Horizon. All of their coffee is roasted here in Fort Worth, Texas. The long line of coffee farmers from Nicaragua. They still source the most ethically and organically grown coffee that you could possibly get on the planet. So you can feel good about drinking coffee from Avoca. Also, the thing that, since I'm insider baseball, there's a lot of coffee shops that don't really like test or prime their espresso. And that's one of the things that every shift person that comes on at Avoca is testing and tasting the coffee and really dialing it in to make sure that it tastes good. That's one of my least favorite things. It's like, I rarely drink coffee, but when I do, I want a shot of espresso and I want it to taste nice.
Absolutely.
So that's kind of where, if we go out to other coffee shops, I'm just like, let me just try your espresso before I go anywhere else.
My go-to is I get a shot of espresso and a black coffee. Yeah. Every time I go to a new coffee shop, that's how I know if I'm going to get anything else there, is I just get those. And that's because of you and Brian and Eder. And also Heather worked there, so I got to see her go through all the training. And so
I forgot Heather worked there. That's
she opened the Foch store with Jake and Kyle.
So it's all in the family.
Yeah, so I became an espresso snob once she started working there.
It gets pretty annoying once you know about how the sausage is made. You're like, oh, just make it right.
The veil has been ripped back, and you'll never taste espresso the same again.
So Salsa Limon, we got a 5.5 and a 6. Avoca coffee, 1 out of 6 cold brews. 6 cold brews.
Yeah, can't go wrong with the cold brew.
It's their best cold brew. The best thing they have there is the cold brew.
Cool. Well, I guess we can kind of get into it now. We got the breakfast part out of the way, done. So now we'll talk violence with Seth.
Let's talk some violence.
So I guess first, I'm trying to think when I met you. It was probably around 2009 or so.
I had moved here in 2009.
Okay, because I was playing in Human Air at the time, and the whole time I was in Human Air was very fuzzy for me. I don't remember a whole lot of it.
Yeah.
But so yeah, I remember you were playing in Losing Grip, which was Austin based. Did you move here from Austin?
I had moved from Austin. My family had relocated up here, and I was 18 turning 19, and so I was like, well, I guess I'll just get up there as well.
Yeah.
And came here in 2009. I'm pretty sure Human Air might have been either the first or second band I saw when I moved here.
Oh shit! Okay.
Yeah. And the lore was already down in Austin about all the shows are violent. They're they're crazy guys. And it was both those things.
I had somebody message me this morning because I posted a picture on Instagram of my daughter wearing a Human Error shirt, and I had this dude Dan who lives in Las Vegas now, but he used to hang out at 1919 all the time. And he's like, man, I remember the last show because we advertised the show as our last show. And it was just our last show of the year, but this kid drove down from Arkansas thinking we were never going to play again. He cut his hand open moshing on the AC unit and then proceeded to throw blood all over everyone in the audience. And people were trying to get him to stop, like, hey man, you need to go to the hospital, you need stitches. He's like, no, it's our last show. And he's just hurling blood.
That's so sick.
When the lights came up, there's just blood all over 1919. Rick was pissed. I had to clean it all up.
Oh man.
But yeah.
Speaking of 1919, we'd be remiss if we didn't mention the Facebook group that's popping off right now.
Oh yeah, there's a new Facebook group. I'm not sure if you're on Facebook.
I'm not on Facebook.
Okay, yeah.
Don't get on it.
Yeah, no, I was off of it, and then this dude was like, hey, we got this thing, and I've also been promoting my new burger thing, and so I signed up, and now I've been on Facebook like every day, because it's just people posting memories from as far back as 2003 of 1919.
Man. I might have to get on Facebook.
That
sounds awesome.
Yeah, it's really cool. There's lots of cool old pictures. I've seen some photos of Human Air that I never saw, lots of old Power Trip pictures. I'm sure that Gray probably has some Losing Grip pictures from when you guys played there.
Let's hope not. Maybe.
And also, speaking of Losing Grip, so there was a dude that worked at Spiral as a line cook with me for a while named Ryan, and he said that he filled in on drums in Losing Grip a couple times.
Yeah. From Austin?
Yeah.
He's still?
No, this was years ago.
Okay, yeah. He would live in Cedar Park area.
Okay.
What was his last name? Ryan?
I don't remember his last name. He was a cool dude. He was kind of quiet.
He was very nice. I think he went to the Peace Corps.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
He came to Spiral after the Peace Corps.
Yeah.
And he was a line cook, and that's kind of how he and I hit it off, because he was like kind of quiet, new to Fort Worth, and I was like, oh, he's like, what kind of music you're into? And I told him, and he's like, oh yeah, I played in a hardcore band called Losing Grip. Like I filled in on drums. I was like, oh fuck, I know Seth. Like, and I know Cody and all them. And he's like, oh really? Okay. And we hit it off, and he and I hung out like a handful of times. And then,
super nice guy.
Yeah, super sweet dude. I lost track of him. I have no idea where he is today.
I don't either.
Ryan, if you're out there, contact us at breakfastofchampspod@gmail.com. We also have a phone number 682-294-0101. We'd like to hear from you. What are you doing? Where you at?
Back in the Peace Corps?
Would love to know.
Also, what's your last name?
I want to say it started like an M or something.
It's gonna bother me.
It'll come to you guys.
Yeah.
So how did you guys meet? You still haven't got to that.
I mean, again, that whole time was hazy, so I'm sure it was at a 1919 show.
For sure.
Yeah. Bro down at a show. Like,
yeah. I mean, there are so many people that I meet that they're like, oh yeah, I met you at 1919 at a Human Error show. I'm just like, I believe you, but I wasn't there.
Yeah.
Or like when Nick and I lived together, there was so many people I've met. Oh yeah, I went to a party at your house. Cool, man. I was there, but I wasn't there.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was definitely 1919. It was through hardcore. I feel like that's how I met most of my friends.
For sure. Pretty much met everyone either there or maybe like a random one-off show at the Alamo.
Oh God, yeah, the Alamo
or something like that.
Renee, did you ever go to the Alamo?
No.
We had somebody literally smoke meth during a Human Error set there.
Sounds right.
I think it was Power Trip's tour kickoff, and it was Human Error's 7-inch release. It was, I want to say...
Was that the one with the Downpresser?
Yeah, it was Downpresser. I forget who all played that. That show was crazy. We were pressed up against our amps the whole time, and the owner of the Alamo was just sitting in the back smoking meth. That's what's
so sick.
Yeah, and there's like fucking 15-year-old kids like there, and he's just smoking meth.
Smelled like burnt plastic and shit.
It was over off the Las Vegas Trail.
Yeah.
Par for the course over there. But yeah, that place was wild.
No, I've never been there, and I only got to play 1919 maybe twice, I think. Once as Ill Smiths and once as Woes, kind of towards the end, whenever it was kind of getting shaky and people were being accused of stuff and all that stuff. So there was also a club right across from 1919 that was like 1912.
Yeah.
And that place is another place of like talking about like drugs happening. Just
sketchy as I know a couple girls who got roofied there.
That's crazy. But what's crazy is I've also seen some of the best shows at that 1912. I saw Son of Stan play there with Bummer Vacation and
shout out Paul Hernandez.
I mean, just a cool venue because of all the mirrors, but also you just knew that there was just like drugs in the bathroom for sure.
Oh yeah.
So
I only went to like a handful of shows there. I know that Full of Hell played there. I want to say with The Body. They did like a joint set.
I can't even imagine that in that room.
They had 2 stages set up. And so they would the bands would like play at each other. It was like a small fest that they did one time. I know Kill the Client played it. I forget who all played, but it was like a crazy show. And then I saw this like crusty D-beat band, and I hate myself for not being able to think of the name of them. They're from like the Boston area. They're just like it'll come to me later, but I saw them play and there weren't that many people who showed up. Like all the like punk dudes showed up, but nobody else really showed up, and the singer was kind of pissed because nobody was moshing, so he took the disco ball that was on the ceiling, he punched it off the ceiling, and then proceeded to smash it and throw it at everyone in the bar.
Yes.
And then broke a couple chairs, stuck a chair in the ceiling. Like it was one of the last shows there, I believe.
Yeah. Imagine.
Yeah.
But it's just cool because, it's like a story from a certain era.
Exactly.
That couldn't happen now.
Yeah. No, it would not happen now. So it's been cool. Again, that 1919 Facebook page, there's some photos from stuff like that on there too.
You can smell some of those photos.
Oh, yeah, sure. Definitely.
Smell-o-vision on the 1919 page. So you moved here from Austin?
Austin, yeah.
Were you originally from there? Had you always lived there?
Originally from El Paso.
Dude.
So way
shit.
out west.
I was born in El Paso.
Oh, really?
Yeah, my whole family lives there now.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I just was there for my sister's graduation 2 weeks ago. And then...
How was it?
Great, yeah. I love El Paso. Like I said, all my family lives there. I was born there. I actually never lived there. Like 6 months after I was born, we moved to Alaska. So I've never lived there like as an adult or like in my life at all, really. But I was born there and have gone back there every summer pretty much since then. But yeah, my grandparents live there. All my aunts and uncles and cousins and stuff like that live there. So That's crazy.
No, I love it. I think El Paso is one of the best cities in America. I mean, probably a little biased 'cause I grew up there, but there's nothing else like it.
That's crazy that you're from El Paso.
Yeah, it's great. Great place. Go to El Paso.
Yeah. Did you go to school there?
So
Or were you not
I was
old enough
there. I was there in elementary and middle school.
Okay.
And then I left right before high school. And it was kind of strange because my family just moved a lot in general. But we had moved to Austin when I was about 13. And then we moved back like 6 months later. We were there for another year. And then I came back to Austin.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah, we moved around a lot too. My dad was in the military, and then he got into ministry. So we've lived in Alaska, Indiana. We lived in Lampasas, kind of down in that area too. And then whenever he decided that he wanted to be a pastor, we moved up to Fort Worth so he could go to the seminary up here. So similar situation where like just kind of moving all of the time. Very cool. El Paso.
Yeah.
My dad sold drugs. That's why we moved a lot.
Wow.
Nice.
Pharmaceutical salesman in the 80s and 90s. So we moved all over too, but different reasons.
You want a lightning round it?
Yeah, that's actually, I just pulled those up. So we have, we call it a lightning round, but it's...
what is a lightning round?
We have like 15 to 18 questions. And we're just going to, we ask all of our guests.
Okay.
So kind of a get to know you.
First question, what's your social security? No, I'm just kidding. No. Go ahead.
So I'm going to skip number one.
Yeah, we know the answer.
Yeah. What is your typical day-to-day breakfast routine?
So typically I'll just make like a bowl of oatmeal.
Hell yeah.
Not very exciting at all, but
Me too.
it's filling and it's quick and you can get out the door. On the weekends, eggs, potato. I've been on the sausage kick lately, so mostly sausage.
All right.
Yeah. It was bacon for a long time, but kind of got burnt out.
Yeah, I recently bought a different brand of bacon. I think it's called King's Bacon, and it's like thick cut, and it cooks up perfectly every time, and I've been like jamming on that. I bought 80 ounces
microwave?
of it. No. I thought about it. Every time I go to cook bacon, I'm like, I should microwave this and send Renee a picture just to piss him off. No, but yeah, oatmeal is my go-to as well. I usually fry an egg and throw it on top, or like
on the oatmeal.
Yeah,
I've never done that.
I'll do egg whites. Like if I'm trying to be good, I'll just like fry up some egg whites and throw them right on top.
I gotta try it.
It's pretty good. You get a little extra protein on there, and if you're feeling like real frisky, you can throw like a little bit of maple syrup on there too.
This is crazy. I've never heard anything
like
this.
Knowledge.
Yeah, I'm always just like, oh man, I need a little bit more, so I'm gonna do that. So hell yeah. What is your all-time favorite breakfast cereal?
Ooh, probably Honey Bunches of Oats, if we're being honest.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're the first one to give a different answer.
Really?
So it's been Cinnamon Toast Crunch every time.
I like Cinnamon Toast Crunch. I like the French Toast Crunch more, though.
Okay.
Do you remember that one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That one we just did an episode all about Cinnamon Toast Crunch and its lore.
Yeah. I don't know the lore.
We got an episode about it. You can go listen.
I'll go back and listen
Quickly.
Renee's very passionate about.
They stole this idea from a child, first and foremost.
And
they gave
scientists stole it from a child.
Scientist stole it from a child. They gave him a set of Hot Wheels and told him, go along your merry way so we can make $1 billion.
Oh my God, I didn't know that.
And then, what was the other part? Oh yeah, they have an older baker named Wendell as their original mascot. And
there were 3 of them.
There were 3 bakers. Wendell killed the other 2. And then,
and then the unhinged Toast Square killed Wendell.
Sentient, cannibalistic Cinnamon Toast Squares. Now we love Cinnamon Toast Crunch way too much.
Yeah, that's awesome.
If you could build a perfect breakfast sandwich, what would it consist of?
Oh man.
And let's get details here. Like, don't just say bread. What kind of?
It would be a sourdough bread.
Yes.
Yep.
HEB does this lemon mayo. I don't know if y'all ever had it.
Ooh, no.
It is really good. Probably lettuce, tomato, bacon, egg, fried egg. Actually, recently I've been liking scrambled eggs on my breakfast sandwiches. It kind of you make more of like a patty with it.
Yeah.
Nice. That sounds really good. It's almost like a BLT with an egg on top.
Harvadi cheese.
Yeah. Ooh. That just sent it over the top.
Yep. That's the way to go. All right. So, what is your breakfast guilty pleasure?
Define guilty pleasure. Is it like something unhealthy or?
Yeah, it could be unhealthy, something that you don't eat often, but like if it could be a restaurant.
Or even something that, you know, like, this is going to make me feel like garbage, but I'm going to eat it anyway type situation. Like, some people really love Taco Bell.
No, not Taco Bell.
Like the Baja Blaster.
This isn't really it's not really breakfast, but cold spaghetti sometimes, like leftover spaghetti. I like that a lot for breakfast.
I've definitely eaten that for breakfast before.
You know what I had this morning at like 2 a.m.? I had cold flautas.
Ooh.
I bet that was pretty good.
Yeah, they were just like, I just doused them in a bunch of guacamole and salt, and they were just in the, I was so tired last night. I didn't eat anything, and it was just like, cold. Anything cold is kind of cold chicken, cold spaghetti, cold Chinese food. I'm into
cold
it.
Chinese food's really good.
Yeah.
Cold pizza.
Yeah. Oh,
yeah.
Cold food appreciation.
If you were on the road trip and you had to stop at a breakfast fast food place, where are you stopping?
Probably McDonald's.
Yeah. McGriddle?
Sausage, egg, and cheese.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about, did you see they brought back the steak, egg, and cheese bagel?
I didn't.
Yeah, it's back.
It's back.
I haven't had one yet, but yeah.
Gotta go get those
Did you have one back in the day?
I don't think I did.
Oh, fuck. No. They're so good. Yeah, just steak, fried egg.
How's the steak
cheese.
at McDonald's?
I mean, it is bottom tier, but it's steak at McDonald's, and it's like $3 for one of those bagels, and it's huge. It's not like a little portion either.
Yeah.
So it's pretty good.
Okay.
I'm excited that it's back. I just need to get there and try it. Conversely,
if you had to sit down and go somewhere for like a nicer breakfast, like IHOP or Waffle,
like a chain?
Yeah, no, it doesn't have to be a chain. Even a mom and pop or
then probably Paris, right down the street.
Okay, there we go.
Good one.
That's a nice one.
I like Paris a lot.
Yeah, man, I haven't eaten at Paris since they did the remodel.
You gotta go.
Yeah, I hear it's even better.
Oh, it's really good.
Okay, yeah. I gotta.
The coffee's pretty good. They have like a full bar, so you can get like mimosas and Bloody Marys.
Okay. Damn. Okay, Paris. Yeah. Let's go. And they've been there since what, the 20s or 30s?
Something like that.
Like one of the very first things on Magnolia.
Yeah.
Also, I'll say this: the waiting staff there is incredibly nice. Like they're.
I've never had a bad experience.
No, they're great. Shout out Paris.
Shout out Paris.
Yeah. Okay. Oh wait, I lost where I was.
Turkey bacon.
Oh yeah, is turkey bacon trash or is it delicious?
I can get down with turkey bacon.
Okay. I recently started fucking with turkey bacon. I still don't love it, but I'm gonna take away the trash marker on it. So the burger thing that I've been doing for lunch, the owner is Muslim, so he doesn't allow any pork, but he wants to have bacon cheeseburgers. So we've been doing turkey bacon. So I've been working with turkey bacon a lot more. And it's actually, people seem to really fucking like it. And it cooks up really nice and it looks nice on a burger. So I'm starting to change my tune on turkey bacon.
Parker's coming around to turkey bacon.
I know.
Turkey bacon guy?
No.
No?
Nah. There's no reason for it.
Yeah. It's just turkey slices and a bacon strip.
No, I don't eat that much bacon to begin with. Okay. So like anytime that I grab bacon, I'm just going to have bacon. So
that's fair.
It's funny. We started this podcast. I'm not a huge breakfast person personally. I tend to not really eat until like 2 or 3, but lately I've been doing a lot of overnight oats.
Oh yeah.
They have a coupon at HEB right now for like 50 cents off. And so I've been getting like a couple strawberry, a couple blueberry, throw them in the fridge. And then anytime I'm ready to eat in the late morning, early afternoon, I've been overnight oating it.
It's too hot for hot oatmeal right now.
That or acai bowls.
Oh yeah,
acai.
I don't know how to say it. Yeah,
my daughter's obsessed with those right now.
Mamaka over here.
Oh, I haven't been there yet, but I need to check it out.
Dude, they have the best. I think
that little food hall's so cool. I hope that
the
they
Crockett
do well
one.
there. No, it's right here, 8th Avenue. Like where Chiba Hut and Wabi House is. And
oh yeah, I haven't been in there yet.
It's like a little food court downstairs. It's been there for a few years. There used to be a hot chicken place.
Yeah, that place was great.
There was a like Peruvian food place, and then
there's a hotel
Boba.
there.
The hotel does no.
Yeah,
they've been shut down for a while.
Oh,
that's just a big empty building over there.
I thought we're still hoteling it there.
Yeah. But yeah, they've gone through a few things. But yeah, there's that place that does bowls, and then there's a taco place. That I need
yoga
to try.
Studio.
Yeah, hot yoga if you want to get your hot Chiba Hut. Yeah.
We kind of already went over this, but do you consider oatmeal peasant food? Or is it the breakfast of champions?
I think it's probably both, if we're being honest. I mean,
yeah,
it is very inexpensive, but it'll do its job for the rest of the day.
That is true.
That's true. That's true.
But also, I remember hearing the story about these old English ladies, and they were like in their hundreds, and they're like, "What's your secret?" And like, "Oh, we eat oatmeal every day."
Damn, that means I need to stop because I don't want to live to be 100.
Yeah, straight up.
I gotta change. I gotta eat more bacon to offset it. So this question we're gonna change on this episode. We decided on the last one. We're gonna change it. So it's normally, what's your favorite Jean-Claude Van Damme movie? But everyone goes with Bloodsport.
Okay.
So we're just gonna change that to, what is your favorite like 80s, 90s like action movie, fighting or just action in general?
Oh man.
Because you're kind of a movie dude.
I like movies. I have this really bad thing where I would start a movie, and if I lose interest within like 10, 15 minutes, I'll leave the room. And then an hour later, I come back and I'm like, I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, I've been there.
80s, 90s action movie? Yeah. This is going to stump me. Can we come back to this?
We can definitely come back.
Let's come back to this one.
So, you train a little, yes?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, what's the worst injury you've ever had, whether training or fighting or even in a street fight, if you've ever, like, or even, you do the moshing as well. So,
too many mosh injuries to even list. It's one of those things where it's like moshing when I was younger. I was like, that's the coolest thing in the world. And I still think it's cool when you see someone who has like awesome style.
Yeah.
But I wish I had never done it because my shoulders are so screwed up.
Remember that time I told you that once you hit a certain age, your body betrays you? This is what happens.
Yep. And it's ruthless.
The moshing you did when you were 14 will come back to haunt you when you're 40.
Definitely. It sucks. The worst injury I've had with training was actually it was a switch kick. And I was switching and my left calf snapped. I don't know what. I still haven't got it looked at, but it's fine now. But it was just a pop, and it was throbbing pain for 2 weeks, and I was like, I'm gonna get over it. I just wear a compression sleeve now. I probably should go get it looked at, but
doctors are expensive.
They are expensive, and also I don't know. It'll be fine.
Oh, all right. Next one. What is the best finisher? Could be MMA, it could be pro wrestling.
Like a move?
Yeah.
I mean, a switch kick, we just saw in that Pereira fight. That was a really good finisher. Especially in MMA, because I feel like a lot of people don't put a lot of emphasis on the switch kick.
Yeah.
Good finisher. Uppercuts, a knee up the middle. There's a lot of an elbow from the clinch. A lot of good finishers. Probably go with an elbow because it go either way. You could potentially knock someone out, but if you're gonna cut them, then it's a ref stoppage, and it's now it's just over. It could be in one little.
If you were watching UFC Fight Night last night, Drew Dober got his eyebrow basically sliced right off of his face, and it was hanging over his eye, and you could pretty much put an entire 2 or 3 fingers inside of that cut. So
this is the second time you've talked about fingering a cut.
I think that's just me repeating what I hear on TV sometimes. Okay. You know what I mean? I think that's just to kind of give you a. It might just be the fact that I'm really into it.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just checking.
Might want to stick a finger in a cut someday. I don't know. I don't know.
If I ever gash my eyebrow open, I am staying away from you.
Let me get in that cut, boy.
No.
What's your favorite fighting arcade game or fighting video game?
UFC for sure.
Nice.
During the pandemic, I played UFC for probably 6 hours a day.
You ever play with Nick?
I haven't played with Nick. No.
I don't know if I've ever seen him play a UFC game. He plays a lot of sports games, or at least he used to.
Yeah.
I wonder how he is at the UFC games.
Who's your go-to?
UFC 4? At that time, I think it was Darren Till. Also Dustin Poirier. That was probably my go-to. Yeah, Dustin Poirier. What about you?
I like to. My kids love to play with me a lot, and so anytime I'm fighting with my daughter Faye, she always wants to be lady fighters. So I usually go with Andrade or Rose Namajunas, who fought last night. And then for the dudes, obviously Sean O'Malley is the flashiest, best fighter when it comes to like kids. You know what I mean? He's recognizable. My son, who's 10, is like, I love Sean O'Malley, you know? So I always also like to go with just like my personal hometown favorite, Kevin Holland. Like to play as Kevin Holland a lot. Or my favorite, like I think UFC personality is Chael Sonnen, so I'll like do a Chael Sonnen round or two. So yeah. What was I gonna say? Are you old enough to like remember like Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat, that sort of thing?
So I remember playing Street Fighter on my friend's computer. His older brother was, I mean, I'm just bad at technology. He was insane at technology. This is like 2000, but he had some sort of program where he had every single game.
An emulator.
Emulator.
Yeah.
I definitely had one of those like in the mid 2000s.
Yeah,
all the like Super Nintendo and Sega games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we've always played Street Fighter.
Yeah.
Mortal Kombat, I remember just like being in the arcade, you know, with like the joystick and everything, and I was like, I don't know how to play this game. Like this is so
I'm just gonna hit buttons and move
Yeah.
the joystick. That's how I play all of those games. Is I just mash. I'm just like, I don't know what I'm doing.
I just feel like when you play the Mortal Kombat one, you're playing against the CPU. It's like this thing is piecing me up, and I can't even move around.
Yeah.
I love that some of the Mortal Kombat characters were just taken straight from, speaking of like action movies and 80s and stuff, like I guess like Johnny Cage is supposed to be like blood sport character type shit. So the reason I asked that is because do you remember Sega had the Sega CD?
I never had one. I didn't know anyone who had one.
That was the only thing that I got
Okay.
whenever I was a kid. And it came with like 2 games, Virtua Cop and Virtua Fighter.
I remember Virtua Fighter.
Virtua Fighter, I was just thinking about the other day because how blocky it was. Like everything was super right angle blocky. And like just thinking about that as far as like in comparison to UFC 4, like the graphics have just like changed so much whenever it comes to video games that like I just can't even think about putting Virtua Fighter in front of any kids today and being like, this used to be fun.
And I'm sure the controls now would be awful. Like not like easy to do at all.
Did y'all play Tekken?
A little bit.
Fucking love Tekken.
Tekken 3 specifically was my favorite one.
Tekken got a lot of my quarters in the arcade for sure.
For sure. Yeah. The Peter Piper Pizza in El Paso got all of my quarters. All of them.
All right. Did I ask the last question or did you?
I did.
All right, cool. Were you a professional wrestling fan?
I was when I was younger. I loved like WCW.
Okay.
I had like the game on like N64.
Yeah.
I was kind of like a crazy kid. So like my parents were like, you cannot watch this.
That's kind of how my parents were too. Like I would sneak it at my grandparents' house, but I was not a devout fan because my parents wouldn't let me watch it.
Wouldn't let me. I was like the kind of like, you can't watch Power Rangers. Like you can't do anything like that.
Oh wow.
Sort of similar. I had my 8th birthday was like all Ninja Turtles, and it was like my favorite birthday of all time. I had a surprise birthday party, and my birthday is December 23rd, so it never was like in school or with friends or anything like that. But I just remember we were living in an apartment complex, and my dad said he had to work for the apartment complex that day, and I'm just like, okay, I was an 8-year-old, whatever. But really what he was doing is setting up a surprise birthday party in like the clubhouse or whatever. And I got like every Ninja Turtle like toy or whatever. But then what happened between 8 and 9 was my parents decided to accept the Lord as their savior, and then found out that
all of your 8th birthday presents were against the Lord.
Yeah, because they practiced meditation, and that was Satanism. So all of my Ninja Turtles that I had just gotten for my birthday got taken away from me. So yeah, I'm the same way. Like my dad like went full bore into like, let's burn everything that's not Christian, you know. It's like music, video games, comic books. I remember whenever I was like 18 or 19, my mom brought this like huge cardboard box and just sat it down, and it was like all of my comic books from whenever I was a kid. I was like, great, thanks.
Yeah. Oof. That's rough.
Yeah. Christian fundamentalism is fun. Love living in Texas. So this is kind of a description question, but Any thoughts on trash talking while fighting? You're familiar with the UFC and professional sports in general, so this was more kind of like off the back of like the Ryan Garcia, Dylan Danis type stuff. Whenever it comes to like family and stuff like that, do you think that there are any rules whenever it comes to trash talking, or do you think that there's anything off limits when it comes to trash talking?
I mean,
because there's two schools at that. One is like, it's a mental edge, and if you allow that competitor to get in your head, they've already kind of won. But also, like, people with kids tend to like take that very seriously.
For sure.
You know, like if you talk about wives and kids, it tends to be like a sticky thing.
I think, I don't know. I could see how it's like, okay, we're trying to sell the fight type thing, like trying to get more views, yada yada yada. I think the thing that bothers me the most is like the lack of like respect, which is like, you know, major cornerstone for just martial arts in general.
Correct.
And so that's where I'm like, I mean, I get it, but like, I feel like that's just like lacking in society in general, is just respecting others.
Yeah, that's the last word we actually have on this, is just like sportsmanship / respect whenever it comes to that sort of thing. Like, just like you said, selling fights is one thing, but then like attacking somebody's religion or their family or, you know, that is just like the opposite of martial arts.
Yeah.
So,
and don't get me wrong, I do get pretty hyped up when someone's like talking trash. I'm like, oh, he's getting him right now, you know?
Yeah.
But then there are moments where I'm like, okay, like, you don't have to do all that.
I think trash talking, like even after the fight, is like, you lost, buddy.
Yeah. That's a whole other thing.
The one trash talk instance I really liked was after the Michael Chandler Dustin Poirier fight. I don't know if y'all remember that at all.
I do, yes.
But Dustin Poirier kind of got his ass, and I was like, that's dope. I also don't like Michael Chandler at all.
All right, we got just a couple more in the lightning round. What is your favorite movie, show, or anime training montage, if you have one?
Dude, movie ones get me really bad. There's One Punch Man. I thought that was pretty cool. I don't know if y'all are familiar with One Punch Man.
Mm-hmm.
Whenever he's like 100 push-ups, 100 squats.
Yeah.
Was it 100-meter run or 100 sit-ups every day? And it's like, I'm going to try to do that. That's really hard.
Yeah, it is. Like, I've tried to do that before where I break it up into like, oh yeah, I'm going to do like 10 times a day. And like, but doing it all at once is insane.
Yeah.
The lore of Herschel Walker used to be like that.
Oh, yeah.
My dad used to be like, he just does sit-ups and push-ups. And I'm like, that body is ridiculous.
Yeah.
I think that's a little more than sit-ups and push-ups. But
it's the 80s. There was something special going on in the sauce.
It was all the trenbolone sandwiches.
Yeah.
we can combine the last two into one general question. But if you were to pick out a walkout song, like if you're making your UFC debut and they're like, all right, Seth, what song are you walking out to?
That's a tough one.
Yeah. Or conversely, if you have a favorite like UFC fighter that has like a typical walkout song, like Poirier always kind of comes out to the man.
I love that. That's a great one. Can't steal it though, you know?
Sure.
Gotta come up with my own thing. Shit.
No BBL Drizzy for you like Michael Venom Page?
No. That's dope though. I'd probably go with a Texas band. I don't know. Maybe like Terrified Eyes by Bitter End or something like that.
Ooh, that'd be good. I have mine, and I'm not going to reveal it. But if I were going to go with a Texas band, I'd probably go with like Evil Ways by Iron Age.
That's another,
which I also have tattooed on my fingers.
Yeah.
So like that one, that song always gets me. No matter how many times I've heard it, that one gets me fucking going. Oh.
I was just confused by Rose. I'm always confused by Rose's choice of walkout song. It's so like calm and piano-y and just
I said I wasn't going to reveal it. If I were ever to have a pro fight, because it's all about getting in people's head, I would go with Boyz II Men, I'll Make Love to You.
Oh.
that has been my answer for like the last 10 years.
That's so good.
Like when I was training jiu-jitsu and I was like, man, if I ever get like a fight or something, I'm gonna walk out to Boyz II Men, I'll Make Love to You.
That is,
especially in jiu-jitsu, because it's just struggle cuddles.
Dude, that's some psychological work.
Exactly. It's like, oh fuck, is this dude gonna fuck me? Like, oh god, what is happening? This should not be this sexy.
I love it. Michael Perry, we talked about him. He's a bare knuckle guy now, but whenever he was in the UFC, he asked them to play the Halo theme music, and instead they played Halo by Beyonce.
Oh no!
And so like he comes walking out, and he's just like, "What?" But then like he got super into it, like started singing along.
He embraced it.
Yeah, he was just like, "Fuck it, let's do it." So yeah, I think that's great. One of my favorite things to think about whenever it comes to walkout songs too would just be like to play the exact same song that the person played before. You know what I mean? Like if you're fighting Dustin Poirier, just be like, I'm going to play the man.
Yeah.
Just to like,
damn.
I always thought that would be crazy if like two people picked the same song and the UFC was just like, let's do it. Let's see what happens.
That would be wild.
Yeah.
That'd be good psychological warfare too. Being like, this guy stole my swag. What is he doing?
What the fuck? No, yeah, that's a great way to get in somebody's head.
Good
Cool.
call.
Well, that was our
Lightning over.
round.
Cool.
Took about 100 years.
Lightning-ish round. All right, and then I lost my notes already. There it is. Cool. So we're just gonna kind of talk you and your violence, your history. We can talk music. So you grew up in El Paso.
Yep.
And then moved to Austin. You're in high school. Did you play sports growing up or train martial arts growing up?
No, I just played basketball.
Okay.
And I mean, rode bikes, like not like BMX, but like, I had like a BMX bike, and we'd make like dirt ramps on the ditches and make little ramps out of wood planks,
Okay.
Like, nothing like
Ramp it.
I was not like, like, oh, I'm Dave Muir or anything like that, but like, yeah, those would be my two for growing up there. And it was mostly basketball. I played a little baseball.
Yeah.
It was just too slow for me. Like I had to be.
That's how I felt. I started with like T-ball and played up through like coach pitch when I was like 10 or 11. And then but I started playing basketball when I was like 5. And I was just like, fuck baseball. It's too slow. Like soccer and basketball, it's like, this is all go.
I always wish I played soccer.
I played soccer again until I was like 10, and then I just went straight basketball after that and devoted more time to that. But yeah, I want to get back into playing soccer, but my knees are so fucked up now that I don't know if I could handle it.
It'd be a
You
tough
could do
one.
it.
Yeah.
I believe in you.
Well, talking about basketball, I had a question for later, but I might bring it up now since you said you played basketball growing up. Because I saw that interview recently where you talked about that game with Nick.
Oh, yeah.
And I want to have Nick on the show. I kind of want to tag team Nick and Paul together talking UFC.
That'd be fun.
But yeah, would you want to do a rematch with Nick one day?
Sure, I'll do a rematch.
I'm gonna sell it to Nick too.
Yeah, let's do it.
But yeah, that caught me. I thought that was funny because when Nick and I lived together, he and I were like always on the hunt for like places to play basketball and going out and playing. So
no, that'd be fun. I mean, I think it'd be cool to like kind of get a bunch of the dudes and just like maybe like start a team for like a local rec or something like that.
Yeah, that would be awesome. My son plays down at the fire station community park every Tuesday.
Awesome.
They've got like an open gym, and if you remember, you can just go up there and play with people.
Nice.
So
that sounds awesome.
cool.
I'm just letting you guys know I'm a really good basketball player. So
Let's go.
I'm as good as I am a rapper.
You proved your rap skills to me last night.
Yeah.
So. Are we gonna?
Nah, we're good.
Nah. All right. Cool. Awesome. So, basketball, riding bikes and stuff? When did you get into like martial arts training?
I didn't start training until I was 28, so about 6 years ago. But I had been into the UFC since I was about 15 or 16, maybe. I saw Anderson Silva fight, and it was on Spike TV.
Yes.
And I was just like, what is this? This is insane. And Anderson Silva, obviously the GOAT probably.
Yeah.
And then from there, we would just I'd watch on Spike TV, and then when I got older, we go to Buffalo Wild Wings and have wings with the boys, and it was great. And then I kind of fell off for a while, and then I think it was kind of like when Connor started having his rise, like, oh, this is like getting really cool again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, I was around 30 when I started doing jiu-jitsu, like 28 to 30. So I feel that. Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. Cool. So with training, have you done just Muay Thai, or have you done other stuff besides Muay Thai?
I've done boxing, some jiu-jitsu, some wrestling. Unfortunately, I just started way too late for wrestling. So the couple times I went, I was like, oh, this is so brutal.
It sucks so bad.
It's so bad.
Yeah.
Can't do it. Don't have the I don't even know the word. The youthfulness to do it at this point.
My body doesn't bend that way.
No. Getting slammed, you're like, oh my God.
I'm really just like, I was talking about it in our last episode, but I really wish that in high school I would have done wrestling, but I was so like self-conscious because I was like a chubby, like awkward kid that I did not want to put that singlet on.
I mean,
like, yeah.
Hell no.
Yeah. And like, I was also like really getting into like Black Flag and like punk rock and stuff like that. I was like, I'm not a fucking jock and I'm not going to put that fucking singlet on. Nobody's going to see my balls in that. My little baby balls. But yeah, like that was like the big thing because there were girls that wrestled at my high school and stuff. And I was like, man, fuck that. But I wish I would have done that, especially like starting training jiu-jitsu with a bunch of wrestling guys in my late 20s, early 30s. I was like, oh man, fuck, I would have been so much better if I would have, even just like 1 year of wrestling would have been amazing. But
I mean, that's the reason why I stopped doing jiu-jitsu is going with like the young wrestling guys who
they're fucking maniacs.
I mean, they're built completely different than I am. And it's like, I can't hang with you guys. Like, also I'm going to get hurt and I'm a hobbyist. Like, you know.
Yeah. Where did you start training like Muay Thai and
my first time training was at Looter, BJJ. It was just like right down the street from where I was living, and I was like, I just want to get into this. And I wanted to go for Muay Thai, and it's funny because I was like, I was like, yeah, I want to do Muay Thai, and I can't remember Travis's wife's name. She's like, oh, but that's awesome, but we're a BJJ school, and I was like, that's cool. You're right here, and I'm right there, so let's do Muay Thai. And so I was there for not very long because I was like, this is not for me type thing.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Hell yeah. And are you still training right now, or?
Yeah, I train still.
Where are you training at now?
I train at a gym called New World Combat.
Okay, I've heard of that.
It's down University off Colon. It's primarily just a Muay Thai school. He also offers it's close quarter combat. It's like a Filipino weapon style martial art, which it's cool. I just have no interest in learning how to use weapons. But he's very knowledgeable in that area as well.
Okay. Awesome. Yeah, because I know a few years back, you and I were messaging on Instagram about like Muay Thai and BJJ, and I was asking for recommendations, and I lived right behind where Southside Muay Thai was.
Yeah.
I went and took a class there in 2020, and I realized Muay Thai is not for me.
Yeah.
Also, like, the way that they throw punches, it fucked my shoulders up. Like, the way you, like, twist when you throw the punch, my shoulders were sore for days after my first class.
Yeah.
Just from, like, injuries and shit from the past. But, yeah, I realized, like, I don't fucking like getting punched. I don't like getting kicked. So,
it hurts.
I was like, I'm gonna stick to jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I've got a lot of friends who, after it changed from Southside Muay Thai to Fray MMA. I had a bunch of friends who trained there, and then I know that he just recently moved. He got a new spot, like south of 20, and it's just 10th Planet Fort Worth now.
Okay. And is that where you're going?
No, I'm not training right now. I don't have the time or resources to train currently. But last time I trained jiu-jitsu, I was training at Frequency on 8th Avenue across from Fiesta, and that place was awesome.
Yeah, I've heard of Frequency.
Yeah, if you're looking for a good jiu-jitsu school, it's really good. Okay. Kyle, who runs it, he's got a black belt. He also has like a kinesiology background and like degree. So everything he does is like science-based and it's very methodical. And it's really cool because most times you go to like Muay Thai or BJJ gyms or MMA gyms, everybody's got cauliflower ears. Nobody who trains there has cauliflower ears.
Really?
Kyle, who's been doing it for like 15 years, ears look completely normal. He has won a bunch of stuff because he's so methodical about what he does that injuries are pretty rare.
Okay.
And it's a really cool place to train.
That's pretty crazy. Because everyone I know who does jiu-jitsu is like has some sort of
exactly. Yeah, no, he's been doing it forever, and you would never tell.
Okay.
But yeah, they're a really cool spot.
Does he wear like the wrestling? That's crazy.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, it's impressive because again, it's just very methodical and like, hey, we're gonna go slow. Even in his like fights and stuff, he kind of goes almost in slow motion to submit people. It's wild to watch.
Okay.
Yeah. Cool. Have you done any like Muay Thai fights or anything, or just like sparring?
Just sparring, play sparring. I'm a hobbyist.
Yeah.
Also, I got in the game way too late.
Yeah.
Obviously, like the guy inside me was like, yeah, I want to fight, but I don't. I don't have that.
Did you ever get into any fights at hardcore shows?
A couple fights, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they were not pretty, but just like getting in a squabble with someone, like a mosh beef or something, or someone saying something and getting into a quick brawl type thing, but nothing like fantastic.
And my first ever show at Red Blood Club in 2004, the headlining band was Darkest Hour.
Nice.
But Between the Buried and Me played like second, and there was some pit beef, and a dude plucked a dude's eyeball out of his head. I was 16 years old watching these, in my mind, grown men. They're all probably, like 24 or 25. Beat the shit out of each other, and this dude's just out of the socket. That was probably the gnarliest. I saw a lot of violent acts, but that was definitely the gnarliest one.
I think that's insane. This one does not even get close to that. The gnarliest one I saw it's funny enough, it was at a 7-second show. And it was I think it was like 18 or 19. It was at Red 7, and Balaram was talking with some dudes outside. And if y'all don't know who Balaram is, he's a Texas legend. Great guy.
Stage Dive Yoga, shout out.
Yoga. But he was talking to another guy about Beyond, and what he says, they were talking about Beyond, and some frat dudes walk by, and he gets in Jared's face, and he goes, "Beyond, Beyond," and Jared just goes, "What?" And then the guy who's with him just like pops him, and it turns into this giant fight, and
nobody fucks with Balaram.
No. And they're like fighting up against the Red 7, and the owner, he one of the frat guys falls, and he just soccer kicks him straight in the head, and it sounded like when you kick a ball that's deflated.
Oh!
And I was like, that guy just died. like it's over. He's like not moving. He's pressed up against the kind of slumped, and I was like, it's over.
Damn, that's brutal.
Yeah.
I had a buddy do that at another Red Blood Club show. We were watching The Holy Mountain in 2006. This dude jumped one of my friends. We started beating the shit out of him. His friends came up, and they were so drunk that when they swung, they missed, and the dude fell, and my friend just kicked him, just straight up soccer kick in the head, left Van's waffle print, on his forehead. The dude was, probably late 40s, greaser, punk dude, and just, it was gnarly.
Life changed forever.
Yeah. It was fucking gnarly, but yeah, those are brutal.
We were playing Crown and Harp before it closed. It was me, Jordan, and another DJ who I will not name because he's a weirdo. But
name names. I'm kidding.
Not worth it. But there was some scuttle outside, and we were kind of loading, and it's always somebody that's not involved in the show, obviously, that's walking by. But somebody was walking by and started talking shit, and these other guys started talking shit. And Jordan, of course, just loves to put himself in anything. But this guy, I guess, made a motion or even said that he had a gun in his backpack or whatever. And one of the guys that was with us had ripped his backpack off of him, dumped it out, and there was no gun in there. And as soon as they found out there was no gun, there was
just
3 or 4
shit out of him.
Yeah, just
fuck yeah,
just soccer kicked him in his head because it was you started the shit and then you threatened us with a gun, and then
you never forget when you see somebody get kicked in the head when they're on the ground.
You won't.
that sticks with you.
Yeah, that was me. I got kicked in the head. Remember? Did you? Chili's.
Oh yeah,
I got my eyebrow kicked off my
head.
Wait, you say at Chili's? Whoa, I got to hear this story.
By a basketball team.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah, I was with a friend, and just me and him and our wives, and we got sat next to 30 people from UTA basketball, and one of them had done something to kind of talk over my wife, but his crotch was in her face, and she kind of pushed him off of her, and it was just. I saw red and forgot that they were with 30 people. And so I got that dude, and then I just felt my entire body get lifted off the ground, put back, and just got kicked in the head multiple times. Just an eyebrow just missing, just a whole.
Oh man.
Yeah. I've never been kicked in the head.
It's not good.
I did. We played a show at Ghost House in Lincoln, Nebraska in 2008, and I drank a whole bottle of whiskey, and I passed out in the backyard, and I woke up to 2 dudes just literally kicking the shit out of me.
What the fuck?
Yeah, they played in one of the other bands that was staying at the house, and I guess I talked some shit to them. as I do when I drink. And they were also mad because they didn't play the show. Like their singer had to fly out for a family emergency, so they didn't play. They were just there, and they were also like bitter because they like it was their job and they were $4,000 in debt to their record label, and they were pissed about it. So they took it out on me because I like got drunk and talked shit. And then when I passed out, they just literally like I was just covered in bruises the rest of the tour.
Cowards.
Yeah, this was pre-Human Error. So yeah, I think 2008. But yeah, it was like a screamo band that I played on.
Man.
Yeah, it was, and they were like a pop punk band. That's the funniest part is they sounded like Fat Records era Against Me.
Oh man,
You got jumped by Yellow Card?
Let's find them, dude.
Yeah, they're probably in Richmond, Virginia somewhere still.
If you hear this, I'm gonna find you.
Yeah,
We're coming for you, pop punk band.
the Riot Before was what they were called.
Okay.
Yeah, they were, yeah, exactly. Cool. Well, I guess, we can kind of jump into music. So, like I said, I'm at the beginning, I met you when you're playing in Losing Grip. Did you play in other bands before Losing Grip, or was
Cody and I had another band before that was like this like weird like slam death metal band.
Hell yeah.
That was really bad. It was a lot of fun, but I mean like the whole thing was like we our drummer, his family had like a little bit of land with this little shack. And so we could go out there and just play for hours. And
that's awesome.
This psycho stuff, just like screaming in this mic for like literally 4 hours. And it was a lot of fun. It's just, nothing ever transpired. And then after that, we kind of started hearing about shows happening in Austin because we both lived on the outskirts. He lived in a town called Liberty Hill, and I lived in a town called Georgetown. And we would just kind of start going out to shows out in the city and start meeting people. And they're like, "Oh no, you should listen to this stuff or this stuff." And that's when we met Rob. Shout out Rob, and then Ruben Galvan. Shout out Ruben, and we just kind of started writing music that we were like finding on. We found about the Texas Hardcore board.
Oh yeah. Oh man, I spent so much time on there.
So much time. Too scared to post because it was ruthless.
Yo, I got a job in 2008. No, 2009. I worked at Virgin Megastore and it closed down. And then I got this job doing data entry. And like Chris, do you know Chris Mason?
I know Chris Mason, yeah.
Chris Mason worked there and he got me the job there. And it was just a bunch of dudes from the Dallas Hardcore board. And I became the #1 poster on there while I worked at that job because I just fucked around at the job all day.
Nice.
And just posted on Dallas Hardcore. And then Texas Hardcore would get on there and I'd just like back up like whatever Riley or Chris were saying. And I'd just be like get into arguments with people on there, just backing up my friends.
Yeah.
But I was terrified of everyone from Houston that was on that board.
Oh, dude, yeah. I mean, that was kind of at the time it was terrifying because I was a kid, but like all those guys, when you see them in person, it was like, oh, you're actually like a grown man.
GAMC, shout out.
Shout out, dude.
But I was so scared of everyone from Houston, like specifically Daniel Austin and Ryan Taylor, like those dudes posting on there. And then when I met Ryan Taylor, like one of the best dudes ever.
Very nice guy.
But 10 Crowns scared the shit out of me. Like I was so scared the first time I saw that band. Yeah. And then like the Will to Live dudes and Pride Kills.
Pride Kills was the one that
Pride
scared
Kills
me.
was terrifying.
Gabe Wells, shout out Gabe Wells. That man terrified me. And
to this day, I'm still scared of that guy.
He's the best.
Yeah, he's sweet dude, but I like so scary. Such a terrifying stage presence.
Yeah. Not wearing shoes, just absolute wild man.
Yo, God. So this is what, like mid 2000s, like 2006,
2000. I saw Pride Kills in 2007.
Okay.
Yeah, it was the Way It Is Fest at Red 7.
What was the Austin hardcore scene like back then? Because like obviously there was Iron Age, like that was when Iron Age was like really starting to take off. I like in that era, the only times I really went to Austin, I went for Chaos and Teos. I was at that Gorilla Biscuit show in 2006. Mm-hmm. But I never really had a whole lot of luck. Like it was very hit or miss. Like up here in DFW, it seemed like there were shows happening 4 nights a week. And every time I went to Austin, it was like you had to know somebody to know what was going on. The turnout wasn't always great. Sometimes it was awesome, but sometimes it was.
So Austin, like from my experience, I was a younger kid, so I was just like popping in and not knowing anybody besides like the 2-3 people that I came with. But it was people I would interact with mostly from San Antonio. Yeah. And they would come up for the show if it was happening, or from Houston. But a lot of the time we were coming up here for shows or going to San Antonio for shows.
San Antonio was wild. I hear it's still really wild.
It's still very wild.
First time I got a gun pulled on me was in San Antonio.
Sounds about right.
Yeah. Rock Bottom Tattoo Bar. Outside of that, I was loading up after a show in 2007. And some dudes just rolled up and pulled a gun on me and asked what the fuck I was doing there. And I was like,
Rocking, man.
Yeah, trying to get the fuck out of here. They're like, yeah, good, go. And I was like, all right, sorry.
Sorry for playing music.
Yeah.
San Antonio's still like that.
Yeah.
When Fugitive played down there last time I played there, I can't remember when that was. I think it was March, maybe April. There was like 5 or 6 fights that started outside of the venue in the street with like 30 people.
Damn.
It was like,
San Antonio
things haven't
Is that
changed.
where Mexican Coke's from? Those boys?
They're from Houston.
Houston. That's
Yeah.
right.
Those dudes are wild too.
Yeah.
They are some wild young
Current
guys.
wild band.
So
Speaking of guns.
So did Losing Grip. You were the front man of Losing Grip.
Yep.
Have you ever played an instrument in a band?
I have not played in a band, but I do play instruments.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I've always seen you as a front man. Band,
Yeah.
So
I'm not. I love playing instruments. I'm just not good enough to do it.
that's
Me too.
Yeah.
Yeah, same. I mean, Human Error. I just played the open E string on every song. That's not true. I played a few things, but mostly open E. Chad would always give me a hard time about that.
Shout out, Chad.
Yeah, shout out Chad, man. Frozen Soul on tour right
Yeah.
now. They're headlining this tour, right?
Yeah, that's their headliner.
Fucking awesome.
Go see them if you're out there.
Yeah, absolutely. Cool. So after Losing Grip, when did you guys end Losing Grip?
Losing Grip was only a band for like 2 years,
Yeah.
if that. It started, I think, maybe end of 2008. I want to say it ended in like 2010 or 2011.
Yeah.
Because I've started moving around for work around 2010. So I think it's...
Okay. Yeah, because I saw you guys a handful of times, and it was always awesome. Like, just fucking heavy and mean. I love that shit.
It was fun.
Yeah,
It was a good time.
it was awesome. What did you do after Losing Grip musically?
I didn't play anything until Scourge.
Oh,
So,
really? Okay.
Yeah, so it was about 4 years, I guess, of no music and just bouncing around working and whatnot.
Cool. So Scourge is mostly Houston dudes, right?
It's all Houston. I'm the odd man out.
How did that happen?
So I was living in Kansas City at the time, and I had met this guy named Esteban from Houston, and that all happened because I was wearing a Terror hoodie, and he was like, "Yo, I like that band. What's up?" And so we started talking, and he's like, "Oh, I'm from Houston." And he's a little bit younger than me, so it was a little bit of a different generation.
Yeah.
So I didn't really ever see him around, but I had met Jacob, he's in Narrowhead, he's in Scourge. But at the time, I met him at a house show in 2000. I think it was at 2010. It was a random house show in Mansfield.
Oh shit!
Yeah, it was really random. And his band was playing. They're called In Vain. And I met him. I met Adam Kerner from Houston. And so fast forward, meet Esteban. He's like, "Oh, we're starting this band that sounds like Confusion. Do you like that band? And she was like, "Oh yeah, that sounds great." And didn't even know who I was getting involved with until I got down to like record the demo.
Really?
And it was Jacob, it was Carson. I was like, "Oh, this is crazy."
And I remember when that demo came out, like listening to it, I was like, "Oh, fuck!" Like it sounded like early Obituary, like your vocals on it. Because again, I was like used to Losing Grip, and so I was just like, "Whoa!" Like just that guttural, like it was so sick.
It hurt at that time.
Yeah, I believe that.
Yeah.
I definitely believe that. But
Yeah.
no, Scourge is fucking awesome.
Thank you.
So that's a good jumping off point to kind of tie into my next question.
Okay.
So Scourge has kind of like, you've toured a lot with Scourge.
We've done, yeah.
You've done US. Have you done a couple European tours?
We've done 1 year.
One. Okay.
Yeah.
So I wanted to ask, like, when you're on tour, what is your go-to breakfast in the US and what's your go-to breakfast like in Europe?
Okay. Europe, pretty much you have, like when you get to the UK, you have English breakfast, which I love. I love the baked beans.
Yeah.
I love
yeah.
They're great. I mean, I don't have it here, but it's like a novelty when you're over there. But when you're in your mainland, like the breakfast kind of sucks.
Yeah.
At least in my experience. It's like, I don't know, like no offense, but like German continental breakfast was like one of the most bland things I've ever had in my life.
Really? That's a bummer.
It might have been just because of our experience. It was a very DIY tour, so everyone who was like getting us, I was very appreciative. Thank you so much for the breakfast, but it was like vegan deli meat
That's what I hear. Is like all my friends who are vegan love touring Europe because everyone just puts out a huge vegan spread for them.
It was very nice.
Yeah.
But when I first wake up, I don't want...
You want that British, like, blood pudding and
Yeah.
baked beans.
Eggs and bacon and all that stuff. But, I mean, the cool thing, though, is you have really good pastries. So there is, some give and take in there. But you can only have so many pastries every morning.
True. Especially when you're on tour. And,
Yeah.
Oh. So, like, in the U.S., when you're touring, what's, like, your go-to?
I mean, U.S., it's a totally different ballgame because, you've done plenty of tours that you kind of party.
Yeah.
And then you wake up and you're like, oh, it's time to go. I'm
Yeah.
just dying in the van for the next 3 hours until we stop at a gas station.
Yeah. Or, if you're lucky, it's like, oh, man, we might hit the McDonald's drive-thru
Exactly,
or something, or Taco Bell drive-thru.
Yeah.
So, okay. Awesome. Yeah,
I guess I go with Cliff Bars. That'd be the breakfast.
I used to I would just buy a loaf of bread and a jar of peanut butter and take it with me.
Clutch.
Or if I was really broke, like, I definitely left for tour with like $1 in my bank account one time. And, I just got I had a big bag of corn tortillas because it was like $1.50 for like 50 of them, and a jar of like store brand peanut butter, and that's what I lived on. Unless people would like feed me at the houses and stuff.
Definitely left every tour with a jar of Jif peanut butter.
Yeah, that is,
and a spoon.
it's easy, it's cheap, saves you money.
Oh yeah.
Do you have like a favorite breakfast you've had on tour, like that really stuck out? Like whether it was like staying somewhere and somebody made you breakfast, or there was a restaurant that they took you to that was like a locals only.
There is one. So we were in Boise, Idaho.
Oh shit!
And we were staying at this guy's house. He, very nice guy. He put us up, very hospitable, kind of strange.
It's Boise, Idaho.
Yeah.
I imagine everybody's actually just a potato up there.
Yeah. I mean, they're all great people.
Yeah.
But this experience was, in particular, I was like, I never want this experience again. But we get to his house and he has like all these goats, and it was like cool. And I was like, why do you have all these goats, man? And he has like this cool like barn garage thing. And he's like running up and down it holding a goat. And I was like, what is going on here? and like, also it's like, we just played the show. We were all tired. Like we did like a 8-hour drive, and we're like, yeah, cool goats, man. I want to go to sleep. And so we go back inside, and he's like showing us, and he's like a really nice house. He's like a punk dude.
Yeah.
And we're like, your house is like really fucking nice. He has like this room that's specifically dedicated to his snowboards.
Oh, okay.
And I was like, that's crazy. And then, so we wake up the next morning and he's making breakfast. It's like, oh, this guy's dope. Like, there's like this whole spread of breakfast and stuff. And I'm in there and I'm like, hey, breakfast's ready. And everyone's just kind of like, cool, man. Like, you go enjoy it. And I was like, okay, cool. So I'm going there. I'm eating it up. And I'm just kind of going in. And I'm like, this is really fucking good. And so no one else eats. I'm the only one eating. And so I'm like, okay, well, I guess we'll leave. And I get in the van. They're all just kind of like, and I was like, dude, like, why is everyone being funny? He's like, you ate dumpster food. Like, this dude, like, went and, like, dumpster dove, got all of this food that was fucked up. Shit. And it was, like, eggs and, like, bread and fruit.
Crusty punk freegan. Oh, man.
And so, like, the next day, my stomach is just completely torn up. And
damn it.
Yeah.
That's awful. And that was always my favorite thing whenever, like, bands would stay over, was either cooking for them, because, again, like, when I'd go, I'd always, like, stay with somebody that had stayed with us before, but I always enjoyed like either cooking for them or taking them to the local spot and showing them like what the cool stuff was. Actually, I remember King Tut right here, which is actually moving after like 20 something years or 30 years. I took Full of Hell there when they stayed with me when I lived on 6th Avenue. And there's a dude who ate at Spiral, who's awesome. His name's Craig. He bought our meal for us. And I actually, like, within the last year, Dylan and I were talking, and he was like, oh man, I'll never forget that time. Like, you took us out to eat and some dude like bought our food for us. And back then it was like $5 a person.
Yeah.
But for us, they're on
huge.
tour.
Yeah.
And they were not, they were playing to like 20 people at 1919. And this random dude just bought all
fucking angel.
Yeah. It was like
awesome.
Stuff like that is always cool. I always like showing people around and taking them like, or cooking for them.
Yeah. Whenever Distort was in town, we have you been to Ribby's yet? Either of you?
No,
I've heard about it from you.
Wait, Ribby's.
Yeah.
Ribby's,
yes,
yeah.
no, I did go to Ribby's.
So good.
Justin Peoples works
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
Shout out Justin.
So I took them there because they're like, we want some barbecue.
That place is so fucking
It's so good. But I think they've been open maybe a week or two. It was very close to their opening, and took the store in, and Justin was working, and he like everyone orders, and he just hooked it up.
Fuck yeah!
So shout out Justin,
Yeah,
dude rules. But also shout out Ribby's place is great.
Yeah, because it's the dude's from Goldie's, which is considered the best barbecue in Texas.
Yeah.
Ribby's is awesome. I took my daughter there, and she said that their ribs are almost as good as mine.
Nice. So, very nice.
Yeah, her birthday's coming up this week, and she requested that she have her friends over for her party to swim, and that I make ribs for them.
That's awesome.
Like, that was her one request for her birthday.
Beef or pork ribs?
Pork.
Nice.
I've never done beef ribs, so
something to try.
Yeah,
I've seen a guy that makes beef ribs out of like something else that's not ribs, because they're like, I think it's like chuck.
Okay.
And then he like forms them. I don't know. I'll have to send you that. I'll have to send you the thing.
Yeah. Cool.
The thing.
So, what are there any regional spots, like if you're on tour, that you have to stop at that like we don't have in Texas, that you're like, fuck, I gotta stop there and eat? Could be breakfast, could be any food.
There's a place in Miami I really like. It's called I think it's called like Maria's Washateria. Oh. It's a laundry spot, but they have a sandwich spot inside. Ooh. And they have an amazing steak sandwich that I think about quite frequently. It's really good.
If I ever end up in Miami, I gotta go check that out.
It's really good. It's like super cheap too. Like a big old sandwich is maybe like $4.
Oh,
they have Cuban sandwiches there. It's really good.
I just had the Lay's Cuban sandwich flavored potato chip the other night when I got off work.
Pretty good.
It was badass. It tasted just like a Cuban sandwich.
I'm down with that.
It's very heavy on the pickle flavor, but it was like you got a little bit of ham, like some smoky flavor.
Okay.
It was good as fuck.
I had the Korean barbecue one.
I had those. Yeah,
they're pretty good.
Yeah, I like all the weird Lay's flavors. Yeah. So you were pretty recently in Thailand. What was breakfast like over there,
dude? So Thailand breakfast kind of changed my life. That shit was badass. When we were talking earlier about what are you doing for breakfast, I want to be like, oh, when I went to Thailand. You know?
Yeah, no, I was actually, this is the question I was really excited to like dive into, is what they do for breakfast in Thailand.
So my experience with it, they have a thing called a Thai omelet, and it's, when I watched them make it, it was 3 eggs, and they put fish sauce in it, and they just kind of let it, simmer, cook like an omelet, and then they just throw it on a bed of rice, and then they give you like a little, I guess like little cup of, it's like this special sauce they make with like Thai chilies, fresh garlic, fish sauce, and a little bit of oyster sauce.
Ooh,
and
that flavor has to be insane.
It was so good, so spicy.
Oh, everything over there is like super spicy, right?
So good.
Yeah.
But the thing that was strange, it's like when I have spice here, and maybe it's just the stuff we cook with, it really upsets my stomach. I get really bad heartburn. Over there, I'd have a bunch of spice, and I would just be, draining.
Yeah,
but never heartburn.
Because it's all like fresh ingredients that they're using. We're over here, we're using so much like prepackaged bullshit, and like over there, it's like, oh hey, all of this is fresh stuff that you can identify in nature. We're here, it's like, oh hey, here's all this preservative, so it'll stay good for 300 years.
True, that's very true. But I've made that pretty much almost probably every other morning since I got back. Damn. It's all I want to eat for breakfast now. Yeah.
Oof.
And another thing that's cool is like you don't have to add a bunch of salt because of the fish sauce that's in there.
Do you ever go to Win Loy over off of Belknap and Haltom City? It's a Vietnamese market.
Okay.
And they've got a bunch of Asian stuff.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Nick and I used to live behind there.
Okay.
And that's like where I'd shop all the time. And you can find all kinds of like cool, authentic, like Asian food ingredients.
I'm going to have to go over there for sure.
Yeah. And it's all super fucking cheap. It's awesome.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
That and also like, so we stayed at this one hotel in Bangkok and they did like a full spread for breakfast. Another thing that was really cool is they had taro buns, which I like taro, but I've never like dove into.
Oh, I love taro.
I probably had 30 of them bitches. It was so good.
Smuggle them back in your suitcase.
Dude, I couldn't believe it. They're so good. That's like the texture of them was really strange. It was like, it was soft, but like when you tear it away, it was kind of firm. I don't know how to explain it. It was so good.
Oh, that sounds amazing.
Yeah. With a cup of coffee, that was like,
and
the best thing.
Were you getting like Thai iced coffee or just like
coffee? I got some Thai coffee. My thing is I'm a little bit of like pretty much after 2020 I became like a germaphobe type.
Okay, understandable.
And so before I went over there, everyone was like, don't drink the water, don't have the ice cubes. So anytime anything started with ice cubes, I was like, hold the ice cubes.
Gotcha.
I'll take it hot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so is it summer over there right now too, or is it
I think it's always summer.
Yeah.
To be honest,
Because they're like right on the equator, kind of.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it was right before the raining season, so
Okay.
I think they have more like raining season, not raining season.
Gotcha.
But it was hot.
Yeah.
It was very hot.
And does anywhere over there have AC like outside?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Their AC was everywhere.
Okay, that's good. Because I've always kind of been told like, yeah, everything's just kind of open and.
No, like there was definitely places where it was like the hotels, restaurants,
Yeah.
everything had AC for the most part.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the reason you were in Thailand was for Concrete Jungle Fest.
Yeah.
Renee, are you familiar with Concrete
I
Jungle
am,
Fest?
yes.
The lineup this year was insane. So
It was crazy.
like, Zabulba played, that's cool. Saw Zabulba at 1919.
Oh, yeah.
Like fucking Marauder played.
Marauder played.
Kickback. Holy fucking shit.
Yeah,
oh
dude, that was something.
How violent was that set?
It was very violent. I mean, it was one of those things, like, remember, like, back in the day, like, everyone had style moshing.
Yeah.
And, like, it was like, oh, that guy's cool. Everyone in Southeast Asia has style.
I was watching the videos and it was literally like a room of Balarams. Like,
Dude, it was incredible.
Like, I was just like, man, there's not like one dude here who doesn't know what the fuck he's doing. Like,
No, it was awesome.
yeah, like watching those videos from Kickback set, from y'all's set, like,
To the Marauder set.
oh, I fucking love Marauder.
That was the first time they were in Southeast Asia. And they're huge over there.
Yeah.
And so people were just fucking losing their minds.
Because there's so many like distros in Southeast Asia that do like bootleg stuff that release American bands over there. And I've always heard like the scene over there is insane because you don't get a lot of Western bands that tour over there.
Mm-mm.
So when Western bands show up, those kids just lose their shit.
They're hungry for it, which is also like cool because I feel like a lot in America we get a little jaded because we have
every
everything
night
on our-
there's a show.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But
yeah.
theirs, as soon as a Western band comes, they're losing their minds.
Yeah, man. I never saw Marauder. I had a couple chances, and I haven't seen them. The last time, they're actually supposed to come through here with Leeway. They're supposed to play at Gas Monkey.
With Leeway.
This was like 2017.
Oh, I thought you meant
or
recently. I was like,
no,
what?
this was like
Yeah.
5 or 6, at least 5 or 6 years ago.
I was like, who's singing?
And I had, R.I.P. Eddie
I know,
Leeway.
rip.
But no, I had tickets for it because I was like, I fucking love Marauder. I've missed him every time. One of the members got stabbed in Arizona the night before.
Christ. I think I remember this story.
Yeah, so the whole tour got canceled. I was so bummed. I ended up catching Leeway. Were you at the 1919 Leeway set?
Yeah.
That was sick.
That was it a chill ass weekend or
what was that?
a chill ass fest?
I
or-
think so, something like that.
They played like 2 songs or 3 songs.
Yeah, Eddie Leeway was just like there, like in the van,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
came out, did some songs. But I saw Leeway at the Ridgely Room in like 2019. Was it the Ridgely Lounge, like the little room?
Yeah.
Matt D was there, Andy Zarati was there. There were like 5 people there, and Matt and Andy had a band that played. But yeah, that was cool. That was like the only like Leeway set I saw, and again, it was Eddie Leeway with a backing band. But they were so sick. R.I.P. Eddie Leeway.
Yeah, that's a massive loss.
Yeah. But yeah, no, that Concrete Jungle Fest, I was watching all those videos and that shit was awesome.
Dude, it was so cool. I mean, if anyone gets a chance to like go to that fest and you can afford it, I mean, it's very expensive to get out there, but go to it.
Yeah.
Like they're really great people. It's a really great fest.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
So while you were there, I know that you went to a couple Muay Thai gyms.
Mm-hmm.
Did you get to train there?
Yeah, I got to train a couple times.
How was that?
It was amazing. Very hot. Like you were talking about, like open air. Like
Yeah.
every gym is open air, so that was a new hurdle to get over. But
Did you just bring it back to Texas and start training outside?
pretty much. I mean,
Oh.
went back to my gym, and I love my gym, but I was like, man, this is like kind of easy in comparison.
Yeah, because those dudes, I mean, did you run into a lot of like Westerners, like Americans and Europeans?
A lot of Europeans, a lot of Russians, a lot of Australians. But it's really strange. I had no idea, but in Thailand, all their signs are in Thai,
Mhm.
Russian, and English.
Wow.
Because there's a lot of Australians that vacation there, right?
A lot of Australians,
Yeah.
but there was so many Russians,
Really?
like all over the place. Like Phuket was pretty much like Little Russia.
That's wild.
Yeah,
man. I
but-
never would have thought.
They were kind of explaining like, oh, this is like their Hawaii.
Oh,
That's
Okay.
that's where they go on vacation.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, because I know like some of my Australian friends, they love Thailand and like spend a lot of time there.
Oh,
and
yeah.
A lot of them go to South Korea too.
I'd love to go to South Korea.
Yeah, I hear South Korea is fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, gotta book a tour.
I would love to.
Awesome. So, I guess any like specific things about your like time in Thailand that you want to talk about? Any like, whether it's the music or the training, anything that really like stuck out with you?
What stuck out to me was just how friendly the culture was.
Love that.
Like everywhere you go, everyone's like, it's almost like they're looking to say hello.
Yeah.
And like I feel like here it's like everyone's just kind of like I can't look at you type thing.
Yeah.
And so there it's like they're looking for like the connection of like hello. And everything is another thing I really enjoyed too is, you know, like apart from like Western culture, they don't shake hands.
Okay.
It's all bowing.
Hell yeah.
And I was like, that's honestly
not having to germaphobe, not
Yeah,
having to
yeah.
touch hands.
I was like, that's kind of dope, but also it's like, it just seems more respectful.
Yeah.
Like I'm gonna respect your space type thing, which I kind of like.
For sure.
But yeah, like, there's very generous people, very nice people. Everyone's smiling. Another thing I really liked is like the difference between like American culture and like being in the area where Muay Thai came from was the mentality behind fighting.
Yeah.
And here it's like a high testosterone, like be a badass, yada yada. And like obviously there they are fucking badasses. But like when you're training, they're very like, no, like we're here to train, we're here to get better. Like basically have fun because the fight's gonna come either way.
Yeah.
Like why be worked up before it?
I like that.
I did too.
That mentality is really awesome.
Yeah. It was really cool to encounter that. And then I don't know, it kind of like changed when I came back and I was like, you know, before that I was like, you know, blasting pad. I have a funny story. Sorry, I'm just kind of going off now.
No, you're good. Go for it.
The first gym I went to was called Kratom Gym, and it was in Bangkok. And I go in and I'm super hyped up. And so the workout goes, it was 3 stations. It was hitting pads with a pro, heavy bag, and then tires. And so I didn't know what the tires were for. I haven't encountered a tire. And so I start on the heavy bag, like just freestyle, you know, just, you know, hit the bag, yada, yada. And so I'm in the bag first round, I'm like, cool. I'm getting warmed up. And then next was tires. And tires, all you're doing for 3 minutes straight is bouncing. And I thought like, this is just to keep me warm, you know, to keep me going, which probably that's all it is for. But then I step off the tire after 3 minutes and my calves just are like shot,
jelly,
just shot. And I'm like, oh my God. And then the pro says, I was like, okay, now let's hit pads. And so I'm super amped up and I start hitting the pads like as hard as I can. And he's kind of like laughing and he's like, you hit hard. And I was like, thank you. And so, come back around and I'm burnt. Like, we have to do 5 rounds of this.
Oh man.
And so I come back from the tires. I'm like, oh shit. Like this is hot. I'm already tired. I drank way too much beer last night. And so I go and I'm not hitting the pads as hard. And he goes, no, you hit hard. And I was like, not anymore. And so he's like joking with me. And at that point, he kind of starts playing and like sweeping me and being like, no, like hit hard. And so then I come back to the 3rd round and I'm beat. And he kind of like says like, you know, just train, like get better. And so,
just be better.
Yeah, just get better.
Do better.
And so I was like, that's like a cool like way of like correcting someone of like, in my opinion, instead of just being like, what are you doing? Just like kind of like putting it back on them and being like, no, you're a badass.
Oh man, that's awesome.
No, it was cool.
That sounds like such a cool trip.
It was life changing for sure. I wish I was still there.
I'm really glad that I reached out to you when I did, and so that you could come on here and we could hear about that because I really wanted to pick your brain about it. So hell yeah, is there? Renee, I feel like I've just kind of been asking all the questions.
No, it's perfectly fine. I've been enjoying. I'm enjoying just
cool.
being a fly on the wall.
All right.
Just because, like, peripherally, you know, like being into the hardcore scene so much, just like being here and like hearing all the backstories and all of the stuff, connecting all the people that you know we collect so many people from so many places. Of like, you know, like you're saying, somebody plays in Narrowhead, and we know a few people that play in Narrowhead, and just it's just very cool to
shout out
to
Rubio.
hear. Yeah, shout out Rubio.
Ruby.
And also, I've traveled to Japan and a couple of different places. So hearing another travel story is just always great. I've never been to Thailand, but I've seen just like the fighters that go to Thailand, you know, and just like the lifestyle. And so, yeah, you do get intrigued by the mystique of like, oh, you're going to run 5 miles before you train, and then you're going to be outside and you're going to eat, you know.
I mean, it's basically just blood sport, right?
Basically, yeah.
You're just
Which I'm sure you do
Kumite.
get that, but in my experience, it was just kind of like, and also like I'm a hobbyist. I'm not like some pro who's like, I'm going to become a And it's
I
just
think
cool.
you put the nail on the head though. Like as men, we kind of put ourselves in that like mental frame every time we go to like train or do something. We're like, we gotta be the best and strongest, and then it's like,
all
wait,
those Schwarzenegger and Jean-Claude Van Damme and Steven
Yeah.
Seagal movies growing up, just like, oh, high tea.
Yeah. I wish I had more IT, but
Yeah, hey, I know a doctor. We can talk after the show.
Talk after that.
Dr. Pepper.
Yep, exactly. So we talk like I am a novice UFC guy. So Renee does a lot of the UFC talk here, and I am here to absorb it. I've been watching more UFC. But do you have a favorite combat sports moment, pro or amateur, that you've seen?
I guess I'll go back to Thailand. I got to go to like a Thai fight there.
Oh, fuck.
Which was really sick. That was probably the coolest like live experience I had, because it was, I was immersed in what I'm really into, and just seeing like how passionate everyone is, and like the fighters and the whole, like, like the walking out with the music, and it was all like amazing.
The shorts are
the what?
The shorts.
Oh, the shorts are awesome.
Yeah.
Love the shorts.
Yeah. Muay Thai has the best like fighting kit.
Are you ever going to do Scourge Muay Thai shorts? You put out those
Maybe.
fucking awesome shorts with Bad last week or 4th of July.
Those turned out wild.
Those are so cool.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, you guys should definitely do like some Muay Thai
I
shorts.
would love to.
Or fugitive Muay Thai shorts.
I can't. Okay, I can do Scourge because Cheney also trains.
Okay.
No one else trains in Fugitive, so if it was just me doing it, I feel like that's a little. I'm taking advantage or something.
Scourge should definitely do limited run Muay Thai shorts.
I'd love to.
Get some of those.
I would definitely buy some.
I would love to. That'd be awesome.
I have more shorts than I know what to do with. Anytime I see a cool pair of shorts, I'm like,
Dude, shorts
those.
rock.
Yeah, it's also fucking Texas. It's so goddamn hot.
It's so hot.
I'm actually wearing pants right now, which is strange for me at this time of day. If I'm not at work, I'm not wearing pants. So
They look cozy.
I mean, they're joggers. I watched that movie last night. I started at 2 a.m. It was over at 4, and then I realized I hadn't eaten since 6 p.m. So I went to Old South after the movie. I got home at 5. I woke up at 9:15, threw some pants on, and went and got coffee, and now I'm here. So
Nice.
yeah. So I literally, the pants were the closest thing I could grab. They're closer than shorts, so that's why I'm not in shorts today. But yeah, Scourge Muay Thai shorts would be fucking sick.
I'll probably make them.
Yeah, do it.
I'll probably make them.
Renee, do you want to do UFC talk? Do we have time for it?
Sure. Just quickly. Yeah,
Okay.
we can if you'd like. Before we do that, thank you very much for sharing with us about your trip.
Thanks for having
me. Is there anything that you want to like plug that's coming up on the horizon, like for you musically or like artistically, or even just like things that you're excited about coming up?
Yes. Right now we're writing the Fugitive LP, so we're working on like 12 songs right now. Just look out for that. Pretty excited about doing that. Actually, like last night we were working on stuff, so I was out kind of late too. But yeah, doing that. Scourge is playing in Houston 2 weeks.
Yeah. Is it hard to do the Scourge stuff? Because I know Jacob doing Narrowhead, and Narrowhead is like constantly doing shit.
Yeah, they've been in Asia for a month.
Damn. And then you're like up in DFW, they're all in Houston or on the road. Like,
Yeah.
is it hard to like schedule stuff with that?
Really, the thing that's only hard is like this not sleeping. Because I mean, if they have a show, if they're like, hey, we have this show and it all works out, like I will just lose sleep and just go play and then come back and be miserable the next day.
Life is short. You only get to do it once. So
Yeah.
I feel that. I've definitely played shows like that. Human Air played with Title Fight and Alpha and Omega in a house in Austin.
Yeah.
I think it was Cole Tucker.
Yeah, it was the Tillery.
Yeah. Were you at that show?
Yeah.
That show was insane.
Yeah.
But I had to work the next day, so I drove down, set up, played the show, loaded out, and then drove straight back after the show was over.
That's how it's done.
Yeah, and it's just like, you only get these opportunities,
And
and
it's
you're
just-
only young for so often.
You're tired for a day and it just gives you a little bit of brain damage later on.
Yeah,
It's all
exactly.
good.
But hey, we're eating oatmeal. We're going to live to be 100.
Exactly, dude. That
That's
oatmeal's
right.
going to come through for us.
Oh,
All right. So quickly, last night. So if you're listening to this week, this was USC Fight Night, Saturday, July 13th at Ball Arena in Denver. We had Rose Namajunas and Tracy Cortez. That was the headliner. And some of the ones that we mentioned last week, like ones to watch, where we talked about like we were looking forward to. Excuse me. I will say, right off the bat, Montel Jackson knocking out Damon Blackshear in 18 seconds was probably one of the coolest knockouts I've seen. I've never seen either. We talked about this. Never seen either one of those fighters fight. But dude came up and did a straight 1-2 right down the middle, and dude hit his back of his head on the canvas. It was nasty. So, shout out Montel Jackson. He got performance of the night. A couple of other ones that we were watching, Abdul Razak Al Hassan, we shouted him out because he is doing some recovery over at Fort Worth Float Company, had a controversial no contest fight last night. Within the first 30 seconds, him and Cody Brundage were just scrapping really, really fast and really, really heavy. And Mr. Al Hassan did not watch where his elbows were going, and he hit the back of dude's head a few times. Two things on that. One, watching back, none of them were intentional. I think the pace of the fight was just so frenetic, and you could see that he was trying to angle off and grab the ear and grab the side of the head. Dan Murgliata was the referee. He had not called any fights until that first fight. So it's kind of one of those things where Murgliata was kind of cold. The pace of the fight was really quick. But it was one of those things where Cody Brundage had the opportunity to tell the doctors whether or not he could continue. And in my opinion, he was looking for a way out.
Yeah.
So he had two doctors come in and ask him, like, can you continue? And he just kept on saying, I don't know. He just was like, he clearly did not want any of the smoke. So lastly, we talked Drew Dober, John Silva quickly. Great fight all the way into round 3. We had that doctor stoppage because of the cut. And then the headlining card, Rose Namajunas, Tracy Cortez. Tracy Cortez had to cut her hair to make weight. That was interesting.
But didn't she also hold it on the scale?
It was very much for optics. It was one of those things where like she was 0.5 over the limit, and her coach was like, weighed her hair on a food scale, found out that it was like half a pound, cut it off, and then while she was weighing, she was holding it.
Yeah, it's like the pound's still there.
And then they were like, wait, you have to hand it off to somebody. And then she still was over, and her coach shouted, suck it in. So she went, and then that half pound
disappeared.
Yeah, so
it's magic.
I think
she might have had the shaman on her side.
She might have, it's that black magic.
That's right. So Rose was able to be faster than her, stronger than her, dominated her on the ground, and overall just kind of showed Tracy Cortez that there are levels to this, because Tracy Cortez took this on a short notice. Macy Barber was supposed to fight, pulled out. So Tracy Cortez is stepping up, short notice. It was a good fight. Tracy did her best, but I think, like I said, Rose kind of took it to her. Upcoming, we have Amanda Lemos and Virna Jandiroba, which every time I watch this lady fight, I'll show you a picture of her. The one on the right here.
Yes.
I just never know where she's looking.
Your guess is as good as mine.
Yeah.
So growing up, my grandpa would call people who had eyes like that A and P eyes.
A and P.
Say one's looking in the Atlantic, one's looking in the Pacific.
So that's the headlining card coming up this Saturday. It's Amanda Lemos versus Virna Jandiroba, 2 Brazilian fighters. It's going to be fireworks. Your co-headliner, or your co-main event, is Brad Tavares and Jun Young Park. So we're going to see some fireworks there as well. Just taking a quick look at the card, and I'm not seeing much worth noting. Miranda Maverick's going to fight on the undercard, and Kamaru Usman's brother, Muhammad Usman, will be opening the card.
That's a local.
Yeah. Homies trains out in Dallas, so nice. We're excited to see him fight. So yeah, it was an exciting fight last night. There was some boos to be had, but if you're not a fan of like grappling and like that sort of thing, you might have been bored. But I personally enjoyed the Drew Dober fight. Both of those guys came out hot and heavy. A lot of the undercard fights were really exciting. Just, looking forward to, I guess in 2 weeks is the big one. So we have we have Leon Edwards and Bilal Muhammad too.
Who do you all have for that one?
I think Leon Edwards is going to go ahead and take care of. I think he's got the right mentality. He's ready to get that second belt, and I think that is going to happen between him and Hamza. No,
Bilal.
No, the guy that has the belt. That's Habib's
Islam.
Islam. Yeah, I think that fight's going to happen, and I think they both have that mentality.
Has
to make
that
happen.
fight been scheduled?
It hasn't been scheduled because this is happening.
Yeah.
But what I just heard from him from Leon this week is that he's got 3 title defense. Islam has 3 title defense. It only makes sense that they fight each other next.
I think that'd be a really good fight.
Yeah, I'm excited for that. So in 2 weeks, we got Leon Edwards, Bilal Muhammad, Tom Aspinall, Curtis Blades, which is crazy because
about that one.
You've got 2 belts on the line there, and that's the same. That's the same weight class as John Jones. So we're waiting to see whether or not John Jones is going to fight Stipe. You've got Alex Pereira that's kind of throwing his name up there, wanting to go for the 3rd belt in a 3rd different weight class. I think that would be cool to see. You've also got Bobby King Green and Patty Pimblett that are about to fight each other. Patty the Batty is one of those polarizing characters. You either love him or you hate him. He is a guy that gains a lot of weight and then loses it really quickly before he fights.
Must be nice.
Bobby King Green, that dude is
I
certifiably
love Bobby King.
a cool OG of just like
Crazy style.
Yeah. So again, lots of great fights coming up in 2 weeks. Something to look forward to.
It's a really good card.
Yeah, it's Meatball Molly's fighting. Anytime you see Patty, usually Molly's right there, right behind him. So looking forward to that coming up. But let's not overlook next week's. Like I said, Amanda Lemos, she's really, really good, and I'm excited for that as well. So we've got several promotions that we've been looking at to kind of talk about as well. One that Jason brought up to me, I don't know if you've heard, is Rough and Rowdy.
No, not familiar.
So this is a newer promotion that I guess Barstool may be helping out with a little bit, and they have some comedians that do fight companions along with that. So
I think I may have seen something with a comedian that I follow.
Yeah.
Doing one of those. Like, is it in Miami?
I think so.
Something?
Yeah. We also had Jorge Masvidal and Nate Diaz just boxed. We talked about that a little bit. The scuttlebutt there is that the end of the fight is that Nate said he wants to come back to the UFC and fight for a belt. So
Yeah.
if that happens, I would love to see it. I think they're going to try to tee that up somewhere with the fallout of Michael Chandler, Conor McGregor, try to get that trilogy fight in there at some point. So yeah, lots of cool stuff happening on the professional side of UFC, lots of moving pieces, a lot of pulling out has really changed the game for the past month. You've got people that are pulling out left and right, people that are stepping up. So looking forward to that. Last night was fun. Like I said, any UFC thoughts before we wrap up?
I don't have many.
I know you don't, but
yeah, I don't keep up with it.
I try to send you as much as the
No,
most,
and I appreciate it. I'm able to keep up more now than I used to. So.
Yeah. So, So any of the big knockouts or cool submissions, or even one thing that I did want to talk about before we left is Nick Diaz fan at all?
I love Nick Diaz. I love both Diaz brothers.
So I sent you probably one of my favorite submissions of all time.
It was so sick.
It's when Nick Diaz goes to Japan to fight Takanori Gomi, and he does the go-go plata with his leg and chokes him out that way. Just excited. I think Nick is fighting in the next couple of weeks.
I think I saw that, yeah.
So looking forward to that.
Is it Vincente Luque? Yeah.
I think coming up, we should do just a Diaz Brothers episode and just kind of talk about just
some research.
The impact of the sport, the impact on the sport that they had. They were one of the first kind of guys to like weaponize cardio. They they did triathlons. And so biking, running, swimming, all that stuff like that on top of training MMA and jiu-jitsu and having an amazing boxing coach. So plus talking shit. You want to talk some shit?
Oh, they know how to do
the masters of talking
Yeah.
shit. So looking forward to that. We got a Diaz Brothers podcast coming up. And
maybe we can get them on the show.
that'd be sick. Yeah. All we got to do is put a big pile of weed right here and they'll show up.
Oh, well, we know some people.
Yeah, it's true. Again, thank you, Seth, for being here.
Thanks for having me.
I appreciate you taking the time out. I know it's kind of we're kind of a smaller podcast just getting started.
awesome.
And we appreciate the fact that you love Breakfast Foods and Violence, and also are, the lead singer of some of our just favorite bands in the world. So thank you for joining us. We appreciate you.
Yeah, and thank you guys.
And Scourge and Fugitive are on all streaming platforms.
All streaming.
Awesome.
Apple, Spotify, Bandcamp.
But more importantly, you want to buy their merchandise, their records, you want to go see them live, and you want to give them money personally.
Come hang out.
Yeah. That's the way that they make their money. So buy Fugitive merch, buy Scourge merch, buy Power Trip stuff.
Scourge
buy all
has
that
those
stuff.
cool shorts if they're still available.
Yeah.
Oh, it's got who did the album artart on?
His name is Joe Chat.
And he did the Fugitive artwork.
He did a limited edition album art for the Maniac release.
Oh man, his artwork is so cool.
He's a really dope dude. Really crazy style.
His flyers and stuff, it's sick. But check out Bad Brands?
Bad USA.
Bad USA. Did those shorts with Scourge. So much sick shit out there. I love everything you do.
Thanks, man.
Thanks for coming on.
No, thanks for having me, guys.
Great guy, great guest. Welcome anytime.
Cool.
Anytime
Let's
you're
do it
in the
again.
area, you want to chop it up and talk violence, talk UFC or breakfast, have some tacos.
We'll get Nick and Paul on the show, and then we can do a big old...
Let's do it. That'd be
big
fun.
old show.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
So if you haven't subscribed or liked us yet on any of your podcast platforms, please do so. It helps us out, costs you nothing, helps us out, get the word out. We've got a website, we've got social media. You can contact us on Gmail if you've got the Gmail. You can call us at 682-294-0101. Tell us all about how much you love our show and love Breakfast and Violence. Thank you, Parker. Appreciate you bringing coffee and hooking us up with Seth today.
Thank you for the tacos.
Thanks for everything, guys.
Yeah. Thank you, Center, for allowing us to be here and film. Appreciate you. Thank you for also giving me a job. Also, quickly, I wanted to shout out Paul. Paul has this cool clothing company that's called No Goods here in Fort Worth. He stopped by yesterday, gave me this cool shirt, cool hat. He's just a good guy in general. So shout out Paul, shout out No Goods. Thank you for the shirt and the hat. Appreciate all that stuff. Also, this is just a personal thank you to David Bazan. You played in Fort Worth last night, and I was there, and everything you write changed me forever. So thank you, Pedro the Lion. Thank you, David Bazan. Appreciate you. So any final words before we wrap it up?
No, I'm going to go take a nap before I go to work.
Okay. Appreciate you guys. Look forward to that Fugitive LP coming out. Where are you guys recording that? Do you know?
Not sure yet.
Not sure yet. I know that I was looking at some older Power Trip stuff, and I realized that both of the records were recorded in Philadelphia, which has like a special place in my heart because I'm a Philly guy. So cool. Thank you again. Appreciate you.
Thank you so
Parker.
much, Seth.
And hope you guys have a good week. We'll see you next week. Breakfast of Champions out.
Bye-bye.